Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody say hi to my little friend, Presh. She wanted to come say hi to you guys to start up tonight's live stream. That's why we start off a little late. We got a lot to talk about. We got Rickie Collins getting that offer. Emory Jones dominating tonight. We got some Daronte Jones content coming up. You want to say hi to Buka?
Hi.
Now, my diehards remember these two. These are Haley's nieces right here, and they just wanted to come say hi to start things off. And look, guys, you guys know the rules. Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat. We got our guy, Kedrick. Say thank you, Kedrick. He sent us some money. Say hi to Kedrick, Presh. So we had some co-hosts. They're going to go eat some pizza here in a second. Everyone say hi. So Presh wanted to show you this, Johnny. What we're going to do, actually, to start things off, in case you haven't noticed, we have some new bands right here. Okay, and it says Boog wears number 7. Okay, so guess what? Preshy wanted to give this to one of our most loyal viewers on the chat. Okay. So, Johnny, guess what? The first ever person that's ever going to get a band is someone that has been so dedicated to the channel. Round of applause, guys, for Johnny. Yeah, Johnny. Congratulations, Johnny. This is going to get mailed to you along with those sports cards you won a month or so ago. So congratulations, Johnny. This is going to go to you. It's going to be a part of the package that we were going to mail to you. And yeah, so congrats, Johnny. Now, before we continue, since we have a lot of you guys here, who would be interested in bands like this? Everyone's out of hey, these are her lovely nieces. Who would be interested in Boog number 7 bands? And let's go. Okay. Who would be interested in a band like this?
Lay your head back. Freshie wants one.
I want one.
Aniston wants one.
So we have this one right here. Okay, so Roger wants one as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a ton of these made, and then we'll start selling them. Okay, so Presh and Buka wanted to come say hi to each and every one of you. Huh?
That's good. All right.
Well, there you go. Okay, guys.
We'll come back.
Everyone say bye.
Let's go.
Bye, guys. There we go. So we have.
Love you.
Thank you, baby. Bye. Hey. That wasn't like the smoothest kiss in the world, but they wanted to come say hi to you guys. So obviously, Haley's nieces are staying over for the evening. And look, we got a lot to get to. I want to start off though with Kedrick's comment here. Kedrick, thank you so much for your super chat to kick off tonight's live stream. He wants to know about Stacey Wilkins, which is interesting. Stacey actually played at a high school in South Arkansas. When I was in high school, I actually competed against Camden, Arkansas, and that's where Stacey Wilkins is from. And you know what, Kedrick? I'm totally open to it. I'm totally open to any offensive lineman in the transfer portal. And obviously, you know, Brad Davis knows the Arkansas region pretty well. So, Kedrick, I am all in on some Stacey Wilkins content. So obviously, look, you guys know the rules about super chats. I'm super fired up about tonight, okay? And the first thing I want to do, and Kedrick, let me know if that answered your question well enough. And, you know, I think Stacey Wilkins would be someone that I would be very interested in. Obviously, this is, I know, Reed, I'm very lucky to have some really sweet girls over here. It's really cool. You know, Haley's just the best. She's happy. She's going to spend some time. She doesn't get to spend a whole lot of time with their nieces. So they're going to be in there hanging out, and they'll make it another appearance a little bit later. So once again, Johnny, this is going to be mailed to you, my friend. All right. There you go. And that goes to Johnny because along with Blanche and a lot of other people, you guys have really supported me up to this point. I really do appreciate it. You know, Blanche with the super chat, he says, I actually learned stuff from your show. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the point of this channel, is just to make you think. And we love LSU football so much. And yeah, it's pretty interesting though. Freddie brings this up. I think there's two immediate stories from today. And I want to make sure Kedrick is in here before I talk a little bit more about Stacey Wilkins. Obviously, LSU can't go get him now because they don't have any slots left over. And that's the thing that's going to suck, because this first year where immediate transfers are now the thing, we don't have any slots open. And Stacey Wilkins would be someone that I would be very interested in. Trey, you just missed it. Oh, my God. Trey is a girl dad. You would have loved seeing Haley's nieces just a minute ago. They'll come back a little bit later. Shout out to all the girl dads out there. It's interesting because I didn't grow up with a lot of sisters. I didn't have any sisters. I didn't grow up with a lot of cousins around me. So it's so interesting because I'm starting to get what it's like. I mean, obviously I'm not these kids' father, but girls are just so different than guys. It's crazy. So Trey, they'll come back a little bit later. But what's very interesting, and I really do mean this. What was it, Blanche? Someone was telling me that if someone transfers, the slot opens the following year. Yeah, Jared, 3 daughters. Jared, Trey. Who else here I know is a girl dad? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, Heartland, you brought up the Daronte Denver Harris thing. I do think Denver Harris is a little bit more interested in LSU than people put out there. And here's my reasons. The first is obviously for me, a corner who wants to play for an NFL defensive backs coach, I think is a corner that I want on my team, right? And I think LSU now with Daronte Jones does have a little bit more juice in recruiting, even though he might not be as used to recruiting from being in the NFL a few seasons. I do think that adds a little extra weight that a defensive backs coach from the NFL is now the defensive coordinator. So I think Daronte being there with the fresh perspective opened things up for Denver Harris making his visit this past weekend. But, as big of a deal, Denver Harris on campus Friday, really there's 2 big stories that we learned today. Okay, so 3 daughters. That's Mick, that's right. You told me that. And Patrick, we'll get to that tonight as well. Yeah, you see, I was trying to think. Who else is a girl dad in here? But this is the most interesting. Robert, are you kidding me? Robert, oh, man. So Robert, thank you for the big super chat. I just chatted with Robert, and Robert, I know it's been a rough week for you personally, but just know everyone's praying for you, man, as you fight through this cancer battle. Everyone round of applause for Robert. And for those that were at the beginning of the live stream, round of applause. I need some clap emojis, and everybody's been praying for you, Robert. I know Johnny has kept you in his thoughts. Robert, this means a lot that you're here tonight, man. Come on in. So, hey, what's up, Leonard? Leonard's also a girl dad. So for those that don't know, when I was on vacation, the little girl that was here in the front right here, our friend Pressy sent a message from my phone to Robert telling him to get well soon a few weeks ago. And Robert, it means a lot that you're here. It means a lot that you're fighting. That's really cool, man. Ken Folk, what's good, man? You got one little man. You know what? It's crazy because it's different because I didn't grow up, with a lot of little cousins. I grew up in Arkansas where I had no family around me except my brother and my parents, and I had a lot of friends. I just didn't have a lot of, I just didn't grow up with cousins or sisters. So it's interesting. Biscuit, what's good, man? But fight like a tiger, Robert. I love it. But yeah, what's interesting? I was thinking about this. The 2 big stories today. Okay, and I understand this live stream has hit so many different angles. The big story is that a guy that is more than likely going to commit to LSU is the real deal. And it looks as if Emory Jones looks like an elite. Oh, man, Trey, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, Trey, God, that's so nice of you. Wow. I didn't think we'd get 250 spots right at the beginning. Thank you so much. And wow, this is crazy. We've never gotten 250s 10 minutes in. I appreciate you, Trey. I appreciate you, Robert. I've gotten to know both of you guys pretty well. Everything Robert's going through, everything that Trey does up in Minnesota. Trey is big into college football data, which I am too. And we've emailed back and forth, so it's really cool. So thank you so much, Trey. I can't wait to actually get to meet both of you at some point. And it's really cool because I got to meet CZ Beasley just a few weeks ago in Alabama. And then I know Jared next time, and Jared drops a super chat. Jared, I think Jared and I are hanging out next time I'm in Fairhope as well. I do want to get down and what's up, Tyler? I do want to get down and meet up with Johnny at some point. But yeah, God, this is really cool. I did not think we'd start off with all these super chats. Wow. I know normally, like at the beginning of the live stream, I'm just giving out all this information, but it's so cool. Like, I'm just really happy right now. I really am. Considering Haley's really happy because she didn't get to hang out with her nieces all the time. Yeah, Trey. You know what? I was thinking about it. What would y'all want to meet up for the Central Michigan game? I think that would be kind of fun, right? I know that's not like a fun game, really, but I do think it's kind of laid back. You know, it's weird. Like, I don't know if I actually like to go to games anymore because, wow. Blanche with the 40 spot. I appreciate you. Dang. Wow. This was wild. So it looks like we're going to be here for a while. And I'm fine. I'll go all night. I'm in a really good mood tonight. So, yeah. Thank you, Blanche. Yeah, you know, it would be easier, Leonard, that because if we're going to do that and everyone's traveling, it would be a little bit easier to get tickets. Kari, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, Roger. I don't know how to organize it. I'd have to find someone trying to visit LA during the Auburn game. Been 30 years since you've been in Tiger Stadium. Really, Patrick? You know, we were talking about that in an episode recently where we haven't like there's so many people that don't ever get to go. There's so many people that don't ever really get to go to a Tiger Stadium game. So, yeah, Kari, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Which these donations are really helpful because we are getting our new little puppy soon. Carpet. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. Carpet is actually a huge Dwight McGlothern fan. Yeah. Tyler, should you go to UF or Auburn? It honestly just depends, Tyler, on your budget. And here's what I've been telling everyone, Tyler. The reason why I like the Central Michigan game is I don't know, Jared. It's crazy, but you know this. Honestly, the people that normally super chat are this like Kedrick, Kari, Trey, and Robert are always big super chatters. But yeah, Carpet, no, it's not failed. Y'all let Carpet know that we are a Dwight McGlothern stan channel. Carpet's trying to get a Dwight McGlothern fan club started. Okay, I am all about it. I am all about the Dwight McGlothern fan club. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony the Master Blaster's here. All righty. You know what, Big Al? Okay, so I like shawarma. It's not like unbelievable. What's good, Tony? Man. But, you know, it's what's up, William? Good to see you. Oh, you got to We got a generator, Roger. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know anything about setting up a tailgate. I normally just go to tailgates. I don't even know where to start, really. But I think the Central Michigan game would be good because, it's funny because I think access to getting tickets would be a lot easier, or it would be interesting to see how much a box is. Kane, thank you so much for the super chat. I can't tell you how long Kane's been with me. Kane was legit with us less than 500 subscribers. Yeah, Trey, like real shawarma. Jared's loading up on the AMC. Once again, just for a disclaimer, this show does not give stock advice. I think you do have to say that. No. Go Tigers is at every home game. Well, Go Tigers is it a fun tailgate? That's what I want to know. Yeah, Roger, I know it's probably way out of my reach, but that would be cool. I was just hoping someone with connections was watching this. Hey, people with connections, can we get all the loyal Power Hour LSU viewers? Well, we only care about LSU football. Yeah, and Kane was actually with me before Power Hour LSU even started, SEC country days. That's early days. William, thanks for the super chat. Oh, will Leonard? Leonard the electrician, big timing? I know you will. Yeah, I know, Roger. We can, Roger, we should be, Roger, let's plan that soon. Let's see. Well, Leonard, I'm trying to figure out, oh my goodness, we get a Drake Nevis question. Freaking love Drake Nevis. We actually shared a Bible study at LSU. Blanche, that is not the case. T-Bob is still a friend of mine to this day. Look, T-Bob's the most talented member in LSU media. I've said that, and he is my friend, so I know I'm biased. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And I was lucky to get to do a show with him for a little bit. And I used to come on a show all the time when he was with WWL. I am no threat to TB53. And that is my guy. Freaking love that dude. Trey, you saw me first on chat. Freaking love chat, man. Shout out to Yoder, man. James and that crew. James, Mitchell. God, there's so many to name. Graham is great. Brett, that whole crew. Tom Downey on the Cowboys Report. Those guys are awesome. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Trey. So anyway, you went to high school with Drake Nevis? That's cool. We should get him on. He's so funny. He's such a great dude. But anyway, I do want to get this piece of news out there, though, because we've had such a great chat so far with all these super chats. I want to give you some meat, but we will plan this. So this is absolutely key, okay? And this is very important. Emory Jones dominated today. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there was clips from the LSU camp. And you notice there were some clips as well released of our guy, Will Campbell, the star left tackle, who was absolutely phenomenal, 5-star out of Neville High School. And here's what's interesting. So Will Campbell dominated at this All-American camp. And, he had some struggle reps against some really good defensive linemen last week, David Hicks and Quincy Wiggins. But those two guys are really elite. And we've discussed before, in these pass rushing drills, the defensive lineman has had a huge advantage in pass rushing drills, okay? Now, all right, this is just me. I used to make a living at this pass rushing drill because it just gives you so much of an advantage. Now, here's the thing about Emory Jones is the reps that I saw today, okay? Emory Jones dominated Ty G. Hill today, a Division I defensive lineman who is committed to LSU. He ate him alive to the point where he is by far the most important non-committed Louisiana prospect. And that says a lot. Okay. There's Quincy Wiggins, there's Shaz Preston, there's Kendrick Lawn, there's all these other huge names out there. Okay. You can Shamar Stewart, well, he's out of state. But out of all the Louisiana kids today, Emory Jones was so good in the clips, so dominant in the clips today, that you really need to lock this down. And it's going to happen. At some point, he's going to commit. I think he'll commit before the season began. But it's to the point where you're like, okay, is this guy a top 5 player in this class? And, you know, you do begin to wonder. I mean, he's really good. We did an Emory Jones film study a few weeks ago, and it was pretty impressive. His tape was really impressive. Not only the pass blocking, but his ability to get to the second level. Now, is he year 1 good? Not many offensive linemen are ready year 1. Year 2, though, I think Emory Jones's floor, I think his floor is a Will Clapp type of player. In other words, a multiple year starter at LSU who's going to be really good. And Will Clapp is one of the better offensive linemen of the modern era. But Emory Jones, God, he looked really good today. And I don't know. I don't even know if he's just a guard. I think he can also play tackle. So I think that's your big takeaway today. The other big takeaway is the play of Rickie Collins. So what's up, Nick? Jared, I'll come by the law school tailgate. Rickie Collins was phenomenal today. And by all accounts, Rickie Collins was so good. There was a clip WBRZ had of Ed Orgeron saying that guy looks like a tiger. And Rickie Collins got the offer. So that's important because it is another Louisiana quarterback who has an offer. Okay? So I think I think something very important about Rickie Collins is he, to me, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into this equation. Now, full disclosure, I'm a Rickie Collins fan, and some of the people that are close to him watch our channel. I know his youth pastor is a fan of the channel. I've shared this before. He sent me a message. And when I first learned of him, I was like, okay, this is very interesting because I had learned about Eli Holstein, and I had learned, and obviously we all know about Arch Manning. And then there's the Reese kid, who's also a pretty good quarterback in the class of 2023. And it's to the point now where you're like, okay, Rickie Collins can really play. He can really play. And yeah, he lit it up today. He's a dual threat quarterback with a lot of upside, great attitude, competitor. And you know what's funny? Like the story last week, and for those that watched the Jake Johnson film study, the story was pretty simple. Okay, with Jake Johnson and Walker Howard. We're talking about Jake Johnson, Walker Howard, Jake Johnson, Walker Howard. But the interesting thing to me was Rickie Collins looked like he belonged. You know, you can always just kind of tell the quarterbacks who really like to compete. So I am on the Rickie Collins train. Oh, yeah, it's Saints videos on Chat Sports. Yeah, the chat crew is just great. Can't say enough good things about them. And that's the other thing, Nick, about Eli Holstein is that the bootleggers freaking love him. Yeah, Phil, it's interesting. I watched most of the Emory Jones reps because obviously there's no way you can catch all of them because everybody has their own camera. But God, it looked good. It looked good, Phil. I don't know about you, Phil. It looked like he's a 2-3 year starter at LSU. I mean, there was some Siren Black kind of stuff. Kane's on the road calling me a fraud. Blanche, Obviously, thank you for your super chat. Again, I'm going through all the super chats again. Robert Trey Kedrick, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. Yeah, Blanche. I mean, that's trust me, the dream. The dream for a lot of kids is to be the quarterback at LSU. You know, ever since Joe Burrow won that Heisman, it just opens up. It just opens up the door. Yeah, Phil. Emory just looks. He looks like an offensive. It looks like a D1 guard. A guy who can play. Creek, thank you for your super chat, man. Creek, you get to pick the next topic. Trey, let's go on ahead and get your topic in. I know, Trey, you're kind of go with the flow. I know Robert's go with the flow whenever you donate. Let's see. We tailgate with a couple other groups, about 8 tents, a couple tables. You know what's funny, Jared? When I go out there, I actually tailgate with the law school group as well. Obviously, didn't go to any games last season, but 2 years ago, I was over by no, not the law school. No, I'm thinking the vet school. The law school gets a little crazy, obviously, with the parade grounds right there. Tyler, here's a good question. How do you think the Amari and Denver Harris visits going so far? Chances of landing both? Amari's probably a little bit harder. Amari O'Board, the 5-star lineman out of Duncanville. Denver Harris, you should probably feel a little bit more comfortable. Denver Harris' stepdad is Tack Minor, the former LSU point guard. So there is an LSU tie there. I think Amari, I mean, when you're a 5-star, you go to all the big schools. So obviously, you know, so many people got carried away with Shamar Stewart taking photos at Ohio State. Trust me, you got to understand, these 5-stars didn't get to go on the visits their junior season, the visits that they normally get to go on to their junior season. So they're probably more likely than normal to go to as many visits as they possibly can. And then you also got to remember, these are 16 and 17-year-old kids where just recently Walter Nolan said, I'm shutting down my recruitment. And since then, he's made 3 other visits. So it's interesting. Yeah, but I like Ricky Collins. Warm rolls and jambalaya is the ultimate tailgate food. I like it. Let's see. Any words on linebackers visiting? Yeah, I guess the names you should look out for, Big Al, are Sean Murphy and obviously Harold Perkins. That's the big one right there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you guys. Let's see this. Recruiting of the 5-star linebackers. Yeah, I mean, Harold Perkins, I mean, the visit couldn't have gone any better, really. When the whole family is taking photos and being happy while they're in Baton Rouge. You know, I'm guessing the visit went well. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm gonna let you. Here's what I'll do. Okay, I understand that recruiting is a big thing now because the visits just started and we have all these camps. But I included Daronte Jones's name in today's title because I do want to talk some LSU defense. LSU stands okay with Harold Perkins. I still think Texas A&M is going to be the team to beat, even though Harold Perkins is from the Louisiana region and his family is in the Louisiana region. You know, there's nothing that can really beat playing at a major Division I school an hour away from campus. You know, I mean, it's the same thing, you know, if you're a New Orleans kid. Harold Perkins plays in the Houston area and going to College Station makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the team to beat. I really do. And obviously, it would suck if he goes to Texas A&M. I'd rather him go to Texas than Texas A&M. Beer, brats, and boudin. Can't beat it. Okay, so let me ask this to the chat. Nick, I don't like that either. I think Coach O would be smart to just move on from that. Because here's what I think. So here's what I'll do, Nick. I'm gonna let Trey and Robert pick the next few topics here. How many championships has Tamu won in the last 30 years? 0. Tamu's not had much success. Even the Manziel era wasn't all that great when it comes to wins and losses. They won a lot of games, and obviously, the famous game in Tuscaloosa. But for the most part, it wasn't. The Manziel era wasn't as fruitful for Texas A&M wins and losses wise. And that kind of sucked for them. And a lot of that's on Johnny as well. I know Kevin Sumlin gets a lot of the blame, as does John Chavis. But, yeah, that track and field natty, that was great, huh, Jared? It's really crazy how dominant the track and field natty victory was. So, yeah. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. I don't mind talking recruiting. I know recruiting can get a little old for some of you. Recruiting gets really stale for me. I'm not gonna lie. I like talking it. Sometimes though, I do ask myself the question. We do spend so much time talking about kids who, more often than not, most recruits you offer don't actually come to the university. So we'll go to Robert here. Miles, how is he doing? Okay. So let's talk some Miles Brennan. How about it? LSU did a great job of containing Johnny. Yeah, it's so true. Before we get into Miles Brennan, Blanche also super chatted 50. I do want to bring this up really quickly about Johnny Manziel. Okay, he said in a podcast, his own podcast, that he wished he would have taken what he did more seriously while he was at Texas A&M. He wasn't necessarily the best leader. And, it kind of rubbed off on Texas A&M. And they weren't a focused team each and every week. And the key thing for me, Blanche, is, I talk so much about Texas A&M and their resurgence, and their recruiting's been great, but there's still a lot of question marks. Number one, it's the monkey off your back kind of thing, right? They still haven't won anything big. They still haven't gone to a playoff. They still haven't gone to an SEC title game. And until they do that, you can't really take them that seriously. However, I do like the way that they're recruiting. I do like the way that they're building the lines. I do like the way that they coach their lines. I like the way their defense runs up front. I like the way their offensive line communicates. However, their skill guys, what are they going to have at wide receiver? They obviously have a good running back. They obviously have a good tight end in Spiller and Werdemeyer. But, the funny thing is LSU has dominated Texas A&M, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The LSU defense gave up 7 yards per play in each and every game that they played last year, outside of 2 of them. And that was Vanderbilt, who was bad, and Texas A&M. And that was Texas A&M at home. They also barely beat Vanderbilt. So this idea that Texas A&M deserved to be in the playoff is legit horse crap. They weren't as close as people probably put them out to be. And they probably shouldn't have been in the playoff. And I'm glad that they weren't in the playoff, because they didn't deserve to be in the playoff. Their offense wasn't good. Kellen Mond wasn't that good. And that's the bottom line. And they won a bowl game against a North Carolina team that was without their 4 best non-quarterback players. A&M season last season was overrated, to be honest. And look, if you're an LSU fan watching this, you should be concerned about the rise of Texas A&M. But the other side of it is also true, that LSU's defense has not only dominated Texas A&M, they have pulverized them. Even when Texas A&M won the quadruple gazillion overtime game, they gave up a fumble for a touchdown, and Kellen Mond threw the game-ending interception, which would have been a game-ending interception had he not accidentally put his knee on the ground when he picked up the fumble. So he wasn't really that great in that game. outside of some really clutch throws in 8 overtimes, but he should have lost his team the game. So Texas A&M has mostly choked against LSU, and even this season, this is our worst team ever. They couldn't even average 4 yards per play against a defense that was gashed by everyone with the pulse. So, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Okay. So now we go to Mauls Brennan here. Carter, did you see the article this week comparing Brennan and Johnson? I'm glad you did, go Tigers. It was with And the Valley Shook. And I know the writer, Max, he's a good friend of mine I've never met him, but we're friends on Twitter. We talk all the time. And it was interesting. And I do agree with a lot of what he said. In his article, he said Mauls Brennan is the clear-cut starter for LSU because of explosive statistics. And basically what his article said, okay, so you look at the sample. We have 3 games of sample with Mauls Brennan. We have 2.5 games of sample with Max Johnson. So we had the 2 full games of Max Johnson, and then we had the garbage time duty against Alabama, A&M, and Auburn. So for the most part, Max Johnson's a good quarterback, right? He won both of his games, and he gives you a little bit more mobility. However, when it comes to driving the football down the field, as far as explosive passes in the passing game, Mauls Brennan is a better quarterback. And look, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts with Mauls Brennan. If you feel as if your offensive line can protect better than it did last season, Mauls Brennan should be your starting quarterback next season. But if you feel as if, and Trey, I know you're also a big Super Chatter, Trey. You're also a big Mauls Brennan fan as well. Robert's a big Mauls Brennan fan. I know some of you are big Max guys. The difference here, though, is if LSU's offensive line is competent next season. And what I mean by competent, I mean just decent, okay? Pick up the simple blitzes, pick up interior pressure, let the outside guy go free. If we can pick up blitzes better, Mauls Brennan should probably be your quarterback. However, because I still am lacking confidence in this LSU offensive line, I'm still in my heart leaning towards Max Johnson being the starter. Okay? There you are, Kedrick. Kedrick, you super chat, and then I was trying to get your thoughts on Stacey Wilkins. I love me some Stacey Wilkins, man. South Arkansas, stand up. Let's go. Boom, Kedrick. I'm just sending you some love on the Cash App. Huh? So, Kedrick, I know you're a big Max Johnson guy. And we're about 38 minutes into it. So let me do this. We haven't asked this question on the chat probably in a month. Roger says start Nuss. Hey, man. Nuss probably has a higher ceiling than both of them. And he can really play. So let's do this. If you had to pick a quarterback, I'm not saying start tomorrow. Let's factor in the Brad Davis thing. If you think Brad Davis can fix the LSU offensive line and fix some of the protection issues, who do you think the starting quarterback will be against UCLA? Okay? Who would you pick?
She did a good job cleaning your room.
Yeah, I know. She did. Come see, we got a bunch of super chats. Come say hi to Trey. Say hi to Trey and Robert. Miles. Yeah. So, Kedrick, you're a big Max guy. You've super chatted a bunch. Miles. Tyler, I know you're a Nuss president. What's that? Hey, Trey. So we've got a bunch of super chats. We've gotten 3 $50 super chats.
What about our booger bracelet?
Well, we gave one away. This one's going to Johnny.
Is that not so perfect?
So we'll order a few more and give a few more out. Do y'all like this design right here, Boog number 7, and let's go? Or would you prefer it, let's go and power hour LSU?
No, Boog.
You want Boog on there?
Boog.
Well, we got to put power hour LSU. So
One of them we will, but this is for Bernie.
that's for Beggar.
When we get her.
When are we going to see the pup? Here in a few weeks, Creek, we're going to do a fundraiser for the new pup.
Everybody. It's going to say Boog number 7 for a while because it was about her for a long time.
Esteban, you want one? I'll order some more and then I'll sell them. But we are giving this one out to Johnny.
Oh.
Leave
Leave it like it is. I agree.
Yeah, y'all like this? Perfect. I think they are perfect. So we'll order a lot more of these, okay? And we'll probably do, on the new ones, we'll probably do Boog number 7 and then power our LSU on this side. I think that would be smart.
Yeah.
But I know you guys want to honor Boog.
I do.
Well, it means a lot that they still care about Boog.
I know. I love that. That's
okay, so Trey wants to leave them like it is. There we go.
I think they're great like it is.
Let's go. All 3. Okay, we'll make a bunch of them and sell them.
Yeah. All right.
Y'all gotta promise you buy them.
I'm gonna get that. Is this a dirty shirt?
Yeah, it's dirty. I shouldn't have thrown them right in there.
I don't know why you do that.
You want an armband, Fred? Yeah, we'll give it. Do it for Boog. So here's what I'll say. Okay. I'll say this. I do. If the protection is better, I would start Mauls Brennan. I simply would. However, and this is key. All right. It does concern me just a little bit that Mauls, I did say he was better under pressure. The one thing you do have to consider, though, okay, is Mauls did have Terrace Marshall, and Terrace Marshall was obscenely good. Now, I understand Max had Kayshon Boutte, and Kayshon was also very obscenely good. But Mauls had a great chemistry with 2 players that are no longer with the team. His 2 best receivers were Terrace and that guy who went to Athens. And Eric Gilbert. I'm over it. And Max's 2 best receivers were Kayshon and Coy. Okay, so, and both of those guys are back. So it's very interesting. And yeah, Esteban, I agree. Esteban, would you be down to meet up at the Central Michigan game? I wouldn't want to do a meetup without Esteban there. That would be pretty cool, though, to just get together. Let's see. You plan on being at that game? Yeah, Blanche. Well, if you keep watching, if this actually happens, obviously, there's a lot of planning that goes into it, and Haley will probably be better off with that. You're down? Let's see. Just needs to rip it. Pluckers? That's my, I love me some Pluckers, man. I'd crush some Pluckers right now. But here's the thing, Go Tigers. Does it offensive line get better? And that's the big thing. Mauls has no shot behind bad pressure. Max Johnson has some playmaking ability. And, that was shown in the spring game where he ran 10, 15 yards and threw a bomb to Jontre. Now, a lot of that was Derek Davis Jr. being a true freshman and not just batting the ball down instead of trying to make a Willie Mays interception. I just think for me, I just think Max gives you a little bit more playmaking ability with his legs if the offensive line isn't that great. And you saw in the Florida game, Max's running opened up holes in the running game too. So we'll see. I mean, Creek, Coach O says a lot of things, and sometimes those things don't pan out. I would say Coach O's probably 50-50 on his proclamations. A good solid 50-50. There's some proclamations he makes that are really good, and they turn out to be true. And then there's some off-season proclamations, such as giving Jonathan Giles number 7, that aren't so true. But I actually do agree with you. I think Coach O's right about this. I think Brad Davis is the real deal. Yeah. With the bad O-line, Mauls will – oh, you meant it like that? Okay. No sarcasm font. I love it. With the bad O-line, Mauls will get the ball out faster. Oh, Chark was the one who did that? I know Coach O owned up to it, though, eventually. Okay, so Don decided to hop on a live stream to let every one of you 66 people watching this that LSU is playing Tennessee in the Super Regional right now. I did not know that. I mean, goodness. And Don says it's bad timing. Don, everyone, okay. Now look, guys, here's what I'll say about Don, okay? I will end this live stream, okay, since Don says it's bad timing for him. And for the 63 of you watching now, all right, Don probably was one of those that signed off. For the 62 of you now that are watching, 61 of you that are watching, I guess Don came on and told everyone, oh, there's LSU baseball. So you guys are just leaving in droves. But since Don said this is bad timing for him, I will happily end this live stream. Or would you guys want to continue talking about LSU football? Heartland, you're as big of a I'm not gonna lie, Heartland's probably the biggest football fan. Heartland and Nick are like really diehard football fans. Got baseball on the cell phone. That's the thing. You know what's really great? And I'm down this. Don was right. There's at least, I would say at least 4 of you. Thank you, Roger. Thank you for that Venmo. That makes me feel better. And Blanche says, at least thumbs up before you leave. Okay. Thank you, Mick. It is not a baseball show. Now, look, I get a lot of questions about Kim Mulkey. And I get a lot of questions about LSU track. And I'll reference it. And I'm LSU through and through. Okay, I cheer for everything LSU. But this is an LSU football show. Okay, there are plenty of people that know way more about LSU baseball than I'll ever know. Okay, you don't want me talking about baseball. Now, I have some really strong opinions about college baseball. I think the sport is great. I think my buddy Ben Mintz is doing a lot of great things helping grow the sport as well. But, you know, it's just not – it's not what I do here, okay? Like I tweeted this out, my friend Kelsey Wingert. She used to be the Braves sideline reporter, or not sideline, dugout reporter, whatever. And she's like a big baseball podcaster now in the MLB. And, you know, like I retweeted a tweet that she had because my first LSU baseball game that I watched in its entirety was the Oregon Super Regional, the final game. Okay. I like LSU baseball. I want them to win. I have no idea what the score is. But I'm focused on you, and I know you guys want to talk about LSU football. I care about LSU football all the time. It's my number one thing. No, I didn't get to go to the camp today. I wish I could. I wish I could go see these guys. Yeah, Mintz is a really good friend of mine, Jared. But yeah, I'm happy for college baseball. I'm happy that college baseball is growing. I think it's a great sport. I think it's an awesome sport. But, the cool thing is you guys can multitask. You guys can have the baseball game on while watching this at the same time. So, it's crazy that Don said, hey, I'm coming on this live stream and I'm wrecking shop. I'm telling every one of your viewers to go watch baseball. She wanted to talk about Kim Kardashian. Yeah, you see, Creek, I'm like that too. I like to touch on different topics, but I won't go away from LSU football until it's like 2 hours in, okay? Because our live streams could get long, and then we'll get it. Because, I care about a lot of other things too. I love the NBA. I love stand-up comedy. I actually do like Major League Baseball. I think the game with Tatis and Vlad and Acuna, I think the game is in a great spot. But I'm here to talk about LSU football. And we'll get back to it. And Nick is football only. Patrick says, I hate to say, but if Brennan doesn't start, he might be gone. Yeah, I agree with you, Patrick. And, it's fascinating because, Mauls has to do what's best for him. And I say this about transfers all the time, right? Do what's best for you. Okay, do what is best for you. I think player mobility is great. I do. I think players should be allowed to go where they wanted to go. But there is another side to it. And, sometimes it's not good to go. Sometimes it's better to wait it out. And, I go back, and when you think about risk, think about the risk that Matt Flynn, you see, me and Heartland, I'm telling you, Heartland and I have a bromance. I'm telling you. I was just getting ready to say Matt Flynn. But, I'm talking about Matt Flynn here in a different context. And by the way, Robert, it is your super chat, so you get to pick the topic. And since Creek wants to talk Kim Kardashian, we'll do that 2 hours in. Hey, Paris. Love me some Paris. She got some Harold Perkins content. But this is very interesting. Okay. So Matt Flynn really took a risk, right? He waited. And if Jamarcus Russell had never gone pro, we never would have gotten that Matt Flynn season. So it's very fascinating how Matt Flynn's decision is pretty bold. It's even bolder now. Would Matt Flynn have hung around a fifth season if the transfer rules were what they were now? Because, Jamarcus Russell was so great. And then Matt Flynn came and had one of the best, seasons of any quarterback at LSU ever. Okay? And Flynn's got a big personality. He's amazing. Yeah, I've listened to him on there before. Especially when they asked him about the spring game, and he was like, what? And I agree with him. You can't really evaluate quarterbacks after a spring game. But it's very interesting how that how his dynamic worked. He stuck it out. He was a true Tiger. And, he was from Texas. Keon, what's good? Emory Jones dominated today. Emory Jones was flat out dominant. And he is he's probably LSU's number one uncommitted target because of the position he played, especially now that the Lucas Taylor news happened. So yeah, we say hi to Fred. Everyone welcome Fred to the chat. Phil, I think this is your first time here. Phil Tittle, welcome. Everyone welcome Keon to the chat. Hey, Keon. And if you're just now joining us, we've gotten some really generous super chats tonight from Blanche, from Trey, from Robert, from Kedrick, Johnny, Roger. We've gotten so many great super chats. we got anytime Robert jumps in the chat, it makes me happy. Okay, because Robert's fighting this cancer battle. He's supporting the channel, and you know, you get in your feels sometimes, especially since I'm starting to get to know quite a few of you. It's really cool. So Phil, let's go and do it. Phil, is this your first time chatting? I know it's not Keon's first time. Keon's been with us for a few months now. And Heartland is also one of the most generous supporters. Heartland, you made my weekend last weekend with that very nice super chat. Especially we're got the new puppy coming in. I'm not gonna lie, guys. If I could share one little personal anecdote, and we'll get back to LSU football in just a second. I don't mind talking about you guys. I like getting to know you, and I like LSU football. But we have to get another dog. I mean, Haley and I were just so sad, and you know, we just felt Booger wanted us to get another puppy. So we will be introducing our new puppy. I don't think it's this next weekend. I do think it's the next weekend. So yeah. Creek, I do not know that. That's an interesting question. Only he can answer that. Yeah, Jacob Hester's a GOAT, though. 5 different players on that 07 team had 35 or more carries. 5. Trenton Holiday, Richard Murphy, Keelan Williams, Charles Scott, and Jacob Hester. Jacob Hester, the only one over 1,000 yards. And those throws were just so freaking huge that he made. Those runs were so huge. Okay. Well, Phil, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you chatting with us. Everyone welcome Cliff. Cliff is the president of the Power Hour LSU fan club. Fred, it's your first time? Is this your first time, Fred? Well, everyone welcome Fred to the chat. Phil says he's been around for a good little bit. Welcome on in, Fred. So, yeah, you know, I don't mind talking about Jacob Hester. He's one of my favorite LSU Tigers of all time. I have his Chargers uniform somewhere. And 07 was my freshman season. So 07 was my freshman season at LSU. And, you know, being in the student section and watching him do what he did, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. From, you know, the game-winning run against, you know, Florida to the blitz pickup on the Demetrius Bird pass. I mean, the guy was just amazing. He was just such a great Tiger. A slot receiver. What's up, Cody? Good to hear you. Mike, what's up, everybody? So, look, I want to get to a few other current topics, but yeah, if y'all want to talk Jacob Hester, I'm totally down. I remember, I think it was the 06 Arkansas game. He had a long touchdown pass on a wheel route called back because early Doucette wasn't lined up correctly. Freight train. Huh? That's great, man. Yeah, I mean, Hester was just so good. He was so good. Ask Major Wright. But, you know, it's funny. You look at some of the You look, Cody, what's up, man? Cody's also been really generous. There you go, Fred. Let's go. Let's go. Esteban, thank you. Okay, so Esteban just also gave a really generous cash app. Thank you so much, Esteban. So we'll actually, here's what we'll do. We'll let Esteban pick the next topic here. I want to talk some Daronte Jones. Esteban cashed app after the Major Right. Hey man, that was all Jacob Hester, man. When he ran him over though, I was like, oh. He was like, oh. But then that Fournette guy came and then he just changed the whole meaning of running guys over. Man, I don't know which truck stick was better, the A&M truck stick or the Ole Miss truck stick. They were both so legendary. They're both so legendary. So Esteban, you get to pick the next topic. If you want some time to think about it, go right on ahead. Thank you for your very generous Cash App. That helps us get going. I want to get into Daronte Jones though, just for a little bit, because I was doing some film study, and it's very interesting watching UCLA's offense from last season. So Keon, thank you so much. So Keon dropped a nice Cash App as well. Okay, so let's go to Keon. Keon, Jared, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so Keon, see what you got here. Okay, you guys got to listen to Keon here. Broke college student. I don't have much, but if LSU comes up big in key situations, we could be in the CFP. Questions at Bama and Florida, and Georgia is a problem. Okay. So, we'll go to Esteban first. He wants to drop a Kenny Hilliard comment. Stiff arming that Ole Miss 100 yards out of bounds. That was wild. I think I know what you're talking. Actually, I'm trying to remember Kenny Hilliard. Everyone knows. I want everyone from where you are right now, and then we'll get to Keon's question about the college football playoff. Okay. I want everyone at their house right now, wherever you may be watching. Jared, I know you're on the patio trying to hide from your wife and kids. Shh. Dude, okay, I was with my dad for that 2018 Auburn game. It was so hot. Oh, my God. I remember I was an idiot. To Esteban is a vice. Well, no. Johnny already claimed vice president status. How about this? Johnny and Esteban, vice presidents. Johnny is the one getting a booger ban right here. Okay? So, everyone remember this, right? I want everyone in the honor to honor the great Kenny Hill. Okay, Esteban and Johnny are both vice presidents. Okay. But here's the thing, Cliff. Okay, Johnny's cool. Johnny really wants to be vice president. So everyone where you are right now, I'm not going to lie, I sometimes do this. I think this is the coolest LSU celebration ever because we all remember 2007. Can't see me. But this one, the Kenny Hilliard, I want everybody, wherever you are with your live chat, I don't care if you're watching on your phone like this. I just want you to go like this. No ceilings, baby. Let's go. Jared, that was such a great I'm an assistant to the vice president office reference. It's amazing how many people watch The Office. By the way, can you name, okay, Esteban, let's see if you can get this. Can you name the famous LSU assistant coach whose favorite show was The Office? Esteban, you know everything about LSU football. If you get this, Esteban, you are impressive if you know the answer to this. Which famous LSU assistant, his favorite show is The Office? Okay, this is the best celebration, though. Kenny Hilliard. That is just, it's not even like all that creative. It's just dope. No ceilings. Let's go. Love me some Kenny Hilliard, man. He was so good. I like how Jared in his comment, he said, people were laying out in the corridors, getting ready to go meet their maker. It was hotter than the devil's toenail. But it was the greatest game ever. Oh, Jared, you're in the upper deck for that game. They should have been handing out water in the upper deck. Cheryl, what's good? Everyone, welcome Cheryl. Good to see you. So I want to get to Keon's super chat here. Who thinks LSU is a talented enough team to go to the college football playoff. I'm asking you to take your LSU goggles off, okay? Because Keon says here, I feel like LSU is crazy underrated, being 15th and 20th in most polls. Who here thinks LSU has enough raw talent? Okay, we're talking about, the 2017. We've been talking about them a lot tonight, which that's probably my favorite LSU team ever. Obviously, everyone's is 2019, but since I was a freshman, that was at the ultimate peak of my fandom, being a college freshman and being at every game. So the 07 team is always going to be probably my favorite team. So yeah, do you think that there is enough talent to win a national championship? So Larry says yes. I'm talking about just raw talent. I think each and every one of you knew last season that we didn't have enough talent to win the championship. Blanche says they were athletic enough to go to the college football playoff. Trey says this team is natty worthy. Keon says this really well here. We have the pieces, QB, DBs. We need an RB to emerge. Our line is solid. Our defensive line is solid. I hope our offensive line is solid. We have a number one wide receiver. True, Kayshawn could be the best wide receiver in college football. Transfer 5-star safety. I wish Major Burns was a 5-star, but I get what you're saying. A good transfer safety, especially in the portal. We also got a backer too. Yeah, Mike Jones has been tweeting out a bunch that he's ready to ball out this season, which should get you excited. So Johnny brings up another interesting point. Okay. Who here thinks which side of the ball do you think is the bigger obstacle? Do you think it's the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball? Because Johnny says defensively, yes, but I have question marks on the offensive side of the ball. That's right, Keon. 3rd and 17. You got to have a few things go your way. Okay. 03, they shut down that high-powered offense. Okay. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think the offense... So Jared thinks the offensive side of the ball is a bigger obstacle. Larry says the defensive side of the ball is a bigger obstacle. Blanche says the offensive side of the ball is a bigger obstacle. Okay. Heartland says the offense. Fred says the defense. He's a little concerned about the safety play. I am too, Fred. Oh, Cheryl, that's cool. You got to see Kev Falk in person? That's so cool. Yeah, Keanu was really tough. It really was. Esteban says he has no idea. So here's the good and the bad about that. Okay. Notice how, we all said, okay, LSU has enough talent to go to the college football playoff. Okay. But we cannot agree on which side of the ball is a bigger issue. And what's interesting is before the 2019 season began, okay, take the 2019 LSU team. Before the season began, which side of the ball were you more concerned about? Well, before 2019 began, we were more concerned about the offensive side of the ball. And we saw how that worked out. Greatest offense of all time. And Esteban, it was Joe Brady. Joe Brady's favorite show is The Office. Esteban, there's no news. And part of that, Esteban, could be that they're waiting. Well, it depends because now it's the NCAA's investigations. LSU's already announced what they're gonna do to themselves as far as the self-imposing will be. Larry says I cringe at the LB position. So if I had to choose which side of the ball I'm more concerned about, it would be the offensive side of the ball. It would be. And we touched on this a little bit. I do think we tend to not so much overrate the job that Daronte Jones has to do. I do think Daronte Jones, if he makes a few simple fixes to the defense, I think he'll work out really well at LSU. I do. I just think he has too many good players. Okay. Safety does concern me. I do feel they need to get a little bit more athletic there, but you got Major Burns coming in and Sage Ryan and Matthew Langlois are both elite athletes. So I think they'll figure out safety at some point. It's interesting that UCLA does like to run mesh concepts, which is interesting because that's going to be our first game of the season. And guess who else is known for mesh? Okay. Who here is known? Which coach in the SEC is known for mesh? Okay. Let's see if you can make this connection. UCLA likes to run mesh. Okay. Which is essentially wide receivers running drag routes across the field, which is essentially what mesh is. It's a style of play. Okay. Let's see. That Clemson backer can help with that. Yeah, Mike Jones is going to be really good. I think Mike Jones is really good. And Trey's right, Mississippi State. So we're going to be playing an offense that is very similar to that of Mississippi State. And they're actually going to be a little better at quarterback than Mississippi State. Okay? So the thing is, if we line up against UCLA and they're crushing us with mesh concepts, will Daronte Jones be smart enough to simplify and go zone? And the answer to that is yes. Okay. Anyone with a pulse knew that the defense needed to get switched up against Mississippi State, and Bo Pelini didn't switch it up. And the thing that concerned me about the defense last season, it wasn't so much that Bo Pelini wasn't making any adjustments. It was that none of the coaches on the coaching staff really ever made any adjustments. And it wasn't as if, and I understand Bo Pelini has to be all end all, say all, whatever. But there are other coaches that could have stepped in and said, hey, we need to switch up our coverages more. Hey, running two-man under is not all that great. Hey, against Missouri, we are wrong-arming our defensive ends, which is essentially causing our defensive ends to lose contain and our defense to lose contain. And guess what we continue to do against pulling guards? We continue to wrong-arm our defensive ends, which I'll do a film study on. I know that's a very weird thing to say over a live chat without, pictures and whatnot. But we kept doing it. Missouri kept running the football right through the backside B gap, okay? Then against Florida, for whatever reason, we kept committing players in the running. We kept committing safeties to the box to defend the run when Florida does not run the football, which is stupid to do. So we just did so many things philosophically that isn't just, like cover 2, cover 3, cover 1. it is sometimes as a defensive coordinator, you just need to simplify everything. What do we need to do defensively to make the other team do something that they're not comfortable doing? And what I would have done against Florida is said, screw it. We're going to play our safeties deep. Let's make them run the football. But for some reason, we just kept doing it. And that's why Florida was even in that game. Official AP, what's good? So yeah, I do. I think Daronte Jones is going to be big time. I really do. I think he's going to be huge. Yeah, and look, some defenses want you to wrong arm and do kill and spill, and that gets too technical. But we kept doing it, and it wasn't a good practice. AP, I love your thinking, man. Have different pass rushers. If you have so many scholarship defensive ends, why not? There's no need to 3 down your defensive line. I honestly do think Daronte is going to be pretty good. I do. So, Keon, let me know if that answers your question about the college football playoff. Because obviously, LSU has enough talent. But I'm going to tell you this, Keon. Vegas doesn't think so. Vegas has LSU as an 8.5 win team. And their over-under for the SEC is at 4.5 right now. So, that means Vegas thinks LSU is a 5-3, 4-4 SEC team. That's Vegas. I think so too, Big Al. I really do. I really do. And it could just be my optimism. Jared said, let's pool our money and bet the over. Yeah, Creek, I don't know what Vegas had at LSU in 2019. I would guess Vegas probably had LSU's over-under probably at 9.5 for 2019. So, yeah. I'm not saying Vegas is always right. It's just, they're paid to give their most accurate numbers they possibly can. I would have taken the over in 2019 as well. Keon with another super chat. Thank you, man. Shout out to Keon, our college students. Okay, Keon has a question here about everybody's favorite player. Okay. Why hasn't Cardell played yet? We need this O-line to get nasty and show some edge. Jared says, I'm holding on to my AMC stock. How great was that? Also, this was, I think we've already set a record for off-season super chats. So, guys, thank you so much for your generosity. We had a pretty big one about a month ago. So I'm going to keep bringing Pressy and Buka and Hey to start the live chat. Look, I'll answer really quickly about Cardell Thomas. I think things are trending in the right direction for him. I think what could be good for him is an offensive line coach who has no ties to him. And I think the best thing Brad Davis can do with Cardell Thomas is say, look, this is a fresh start for you. I'm a fresh set of eyes for you. And I think this is going to be good for Cardell's development. A new offensive line coach to say, look, you're still a few years away, man. So, yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say about Cardell. I just don't think I don't know if he's ready. I just don't. I thought his spring game had some good and bad. But, yeah, I think, 2019 was his first season, knee injury. 2020, no, he didn't do anything. And then 2021, we didn't really hear a whole lot about him outside of Coach O saying that he might play fullback. Okay. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. What do I think about Langdon Jackson getting playing time? I think he's year 2 AP, especially with the injury. So I think he's year 2 development. This is a good question from Roger. And I want y'all's opinion on that. Yeah, for goal line sets. Everyone show Roger some love. He has been sending us some good Venmos tonight. Show Roger some love in the chat. Roger and Keon lighten up the Venmos. Once again, if you're just now joining us, super thanks to Trey, to Robert, for Blanche for stepping up with some really generous donations today. Jared as well, trying to hide from his wife. That's just so great. Jared, I haven't gotten my photo tonight. LSU fan, what's good? Jared always sends me a photo of an empty Miller Lite. Jared, I want a photo of your setup. Well, this is why Jared hadn't sent a photo, because he's watching the LSU baseball game on his phone while watching the thing. Man, I just like Trey. There's some people that are on this channel. Trey is just like the most positive. You just feel, you guys could feel it. And then we showed a picture of Trey on here in his LSU shirt, or his Power Hour LSU shirt, which, by the way, if you want to get one, link down below. But Trey shot the most picturesque Power Hour LSU selfie, and there was like purple flowers, the spring, the lighting, everything was great. And obviously Roger, man. God, Roger. So Roger says here, I was watching Blake Baker talk about the projector room. Okay. And I was wondering, is there a hidden benefit that you see for it? Okay. So this gets a little behind the scenes. Now, I do not have access to LSU. I've never really gone into the new facilities. I've never gotten to see the new locker room. I'd like to, obviously, see what Tyrann Matthews done. I would do anything for that opportunity. I wouldn't even need to bring a phone. I don't need to take any photos. I just want to see it all. But then again, I think about LSU football 24/7. It's one of my dreams to see all the new stuff. But for those that don't know, there is a projector room, and the room is supposed to be state of the art, where they have like these 3D images. And there's an interview where Daronte Jones was talking about how blown away he was by it. But Bo Pelini's old school. He didn't really use it, and he didn't like all the new technology and whatnot, which, of course, turns his situation into an even bigger money pit, because not only did you fork over, $4.1 million to this guy, you also were not using the technology that cost millions of dollars to make. So, it's funny that is the case, but that is the case. So, obviously, younger coaches like Blake Baker and Daronte Jones, Daronte being at the NFL level and Blake Baker being at Miami, who notoriously has never really had the absolute best facilities in the world, they come to LSU and they're blown away by this stuff, as they should be. So for me, I just think, Roger, it's such a great point. LSU actually using the technology that they have at their disposal is going to help them out a whole lot. The thing, and this is just a good thing, and this has changed my life. Probably the most impactful thing that happened to me my freshman year of college. And Trey, I know you're big into philosophy yourself. Was when I took a philosophy class my freshman year. I took philosophy 101. So I learned about Rene Descartes and Friedrich Nietzsche and all these people. And the one thing that I learned from that class wasn't anything specific. It was more so you never know everything. You always have to be curious. You always have to be open. You can't be set in your ways. And I understand that, this is not a pro Nick Saban channel, and Nick Saban coaches for Alabama, and there are rivals and all those different things. But the reason why Nick Saban has always been so good is that he has never gotten in his own way. He has never, said that I know everything about football. He said okay, so Nick Saban did this high school chat, right? It was like a Zoom call with all these high school coaches. And he was recorded saying, us defensive guys have no chance anymore. So here's this 7-time national championship coach that could have just told all these high school coaches, I have it all figured out. He said the exact opposite. He said himself, basically, I am a relic of the past. So Nick Saban got with the times and he evolved with the times. Ed Orgeron did the same thing, obviously bringing in Joe Brady. So that's what made Bo Pelini so bad, is that, he brought a guy from yesteryear. And the one thing, if you listen really closely to Daronte Jones and you listen really closely to Blake Baker, in particular in their interviews, you notice they never say we have it all figured out. So they're very curious, younger, open-minded guys. It's really cool. And it's Keon, you did philosophy too. That's good, man. It's really, I think I minored in it. I met one of my best friends, Bryce Jacobs. We're still friends now. He's married with kids and actually has a job where he's really successful. And he was also like that as well. And, it's crazy. And he was a successful business. He just always, came up with new technology and new things. And if you look at life that way, it makes things so much easier. And Bo Pelini can't. He was just so stuck in base 4-3, a defensive end, and so on and so on. Thinking about thinking can help you grow. Exactly. It's so huge. Yeah, I mean, he should. Blanche, I mean, and that's the thing about Daronte. He's a world traveler. He's seen, that's my biggest, if I had a regret in life, is that I didn't travel more when I was younger. I haven't been to Europe yet. I hadn't been to Asia and all these things. And, when the pandemic hit, I sunk into depression because I was saying to myself, maybe, me and Haley may not ever get to go to these interesting cultures, but Daronte's traveled all around. And it's amazing what traveling does to your outlook on life. You begin to see, well, it's wild how big our world is. It really is. And, when you have that mindset, you're always going to be, more open to different ideas. I know, Trey. I'm kind of like that too. I've had a few dreams that our LSU defense is back 07 good. Ironically, coached by Bo Pelini. Exactly. Your way of thinking has to evolve. Let me see. Big Al, what's good, man? Big Al's been hiding tonight. LSU top 10 defense. Hey, he's dealing with them kids. LSU top 10 defense. Top 10 is going to be really hard, AP, because I think LSU, it depends what metric you're going by, AP. So if LSU is going to go at a fast pace, it's going to be really hard for them to be a top 10 defense in total defense because they're going to give up a lot of yards. So if we score a lot, we're going to give up a lot of points. And look, UCLA is going to move the football on us. I mean, you got to come to that realization. They're going to be able to I mean, they're talented on offense. And, you know, the one thing I really liked about their quarterback, DTR, is he is a really, really, really good thrower under duress. He doesn't have to have a clean pocket to make plays. So yeah, you know, I think that's going to be interesting. So I think AP LSU top 10 defense and total defense. No, I think that's going to be too much to ask. Now, yards per play is going to be a bigger story, and points per game. How good are you in the red zone? I think that's going to be a more interesting stat. But, you know, for instance, AP, a team like Texas A&M is going to be better on a total yards basis more often than not because they also play at a slower pace. I think Jake Peetz is going to want to go fast. I do. Top 10 yards per play, that's going to be tough too, go Ty. I mean, look at the – I just honestly think the bottom half of the SEC has just gotten so good. I just think that the offenses are so good now that it's going to be tough. I think Arkansas has had a rough offseason. But Mississippi State, their offense isn't going to be that great. But, you know, you still have to fear Mike Leach and Kendall Briles. But still, Ole Miss is going to be good. Florida is going to be good offensively. So, yeah, you know, it's especially considering you have to go up against Dan Mullen and Lane Kiffin back-to-back weeks. That's tough. That's tough. All right, everyone. Jared says he's got to go run to the store. Does anyone need anything? Let Jared know. Go ahead, Jared. Slat for slime, quadruple 7. Go Tigers says, I might be crazy. I just think that this group has more talent than 2019 and will surprise everyone. Yeah, that's I mean, come on. I like this next year's team, but more talent. Okay, let's do this because it's fun. You got time, Jared. Okay, got you on the earbud. Okay, so let's see. 2019 team. All right, is our secondary this season going to be better than the 2019 team? Maybe. That's probably close. That's probably one of the closer battles here. Are our linebackers going to be better than the 2019 team? Probably a push there as well. I think Mike Jones is going to be good. Phillips, Queen. I think that's a push. Is our defensive line going to be better than the 2019 team? Maybe it's a completely different defensive line. They're asked to do different things. 2019 unit was pretty good. Let me put it this way. If we're comparing the talent, it's probably even, but the difference is in a 4-3, the way Ed Orgeron wants his 4-3 to work, he wants his defensive linemen in a 4-3. You need your defensive line to make more plays. So you need your defensive lineman to be a little more Glenn Dorsey than Rashard Lawrence. And what I mean by that is Rashard Lawrence was solid. He did his job, but he didn't make a ton of tackles for loss. But he was good. Whereas Glenn Dorsey was just, explosive. He made a lot of big plays. So teach your own. Now, that's the defense. Now, the offense, Miles Brennan's not going to be better than Joe Burrow. And our wide receivers, and they're going to be pretty good. They're just not going to be as good as that group. And then I don't know if John Emery's going to be or TDP is going to be Clyde good. And then our offensive line. So, yeah, the good news is that you don't have to be 2019 to win national championships. You just don't. So, yeah. Slat for Slime says, I love that name. Is this your first chat? Welcome. Oh, you're only talking defense. Okay. Well, then that's a little better. I'm a little better at that. Slat. Everyone welcome Slat for Slime to the chat. I need some round of applause. I just love that name. If this is his first time, I need some clap emojis for Slat for Slime. AP, I hope so. I'm a huge Cam Wire fan. I think Cam Wire should start at either guard or tackle. I think he deserves an opportunity. I think, obviously, he's going to be more healthy because he hasn't played as many snaps. Ed Ingram has injury issues. Dare Rosenthal was really banged up last season. Chasen Hines, when Cam Wire played for Chasen Hines, he was better. And Daculus has played a lot of snaps. So I'm with you, AP. I'm with you. I agree with that, Alan. I just like the way Trey said it. Welcome, Slime. I love it. Slime. Slime is great. In hip hop or Nickelodeon, Slime. I love it, baby. I love it. Let's see. Slime. Daculus just needs to be put in the right position. Yeah, Devin White wasn't on the 2019 team. Ironically, I was watching the 2018 defense for a film study I'm doing here in a few weeks. AP says, Carter, you got to come to one of my college football games. I play tight end. I'm a freshman coming in. Okay. All right. This is interesting. AP, where do you play? I'll see what I can do, man. Yeah, Reed, here's the thing. All right. The reason why I was so passionate about the offensive line. Okay. And look, I know I've said, my fair share of things about Chasen Hines struggling at that right guard position. But whenever I was talking about Chasen Hines struggling in almost every game, Concordia College, Moorhead, Minnesota. Well, I don't think I'll be making one of those all the way in Minnesota. But I'll tell you this, AP, one of my really close friends, Tatum, she just became the Vikings sideline reporter, which was really cool. Well, not the sideline reporter, but she's like their official media journalist, and she's one of my best friends. God, I love Tatum. I'm so happy she got this opportunity. I love seeing all my classmates succeed, and that's one of the biggest jobs you can get is being one of these media reporters. So maybe, I got a few friends working in Minnesota. Maybe I go up there and say hi to them. I think so too, Trey. The thing about Deculus, though, is, right guard, I understand you don't have to be quick necessarily to play right guard, but you do have to pull. And LSU's offense doesn't pull their offensive tackles that often. Keon, man, you just got to grind. You can get a job in football. It's just understand when you get a job in sports such as this, understand you're gonna have to do a lot of sacrificing. All of my friends that work in sports, they like what they do, but it can be miserable. It really can. Now I'm not miserable because I'm actually having fun, but you would be shocked how many of my friends hate what they're doing now. DRC, it's all good, man. DRC, you missed a crazy early live chat. The super chats were flowing in. Yeah, and what's interesting. In AP, I'm going to try and make one of your games. Not this season, though.
Fresh, you want to come check on you?
You want to come back? Okay, come on in, buddy. And what's out of Fresh?
Look
You
at
wanna
I cut
sit-
my face.
Oh, you cut your face? You want to show everybody?
No.
She's got like a little. Why'd you cut her face?
I didn't.
It was you.
No, it wasn't.
Fresh, apologize to all 52 people
He's
watching.
messing with you.
Apologize. You
You
can't.
apologize.
No, I don't. I didn't cut her face. They've seen me this whole time. I was.
I did it in the shower.
She did it.
Why do you?
I don't even have a.
See?
Everyone say hi to Press. She wants to say hi. Press, say hi to you. Press, remember that video you sent to my friend? He's watching right now.
he
Remember
is.
Robert from the
when
golf
we were
course?
in Alabama?
Wave
Say hey,
it.
Robert.
Say hey. She's so nervous. She was talking before. I want to get on the thing.
Everybody's saying hey.
So Trey's
There's
Trey Leonard. We got a few girl dads in here. Everyone say hi. If y'all have daughters, wave in here. This is Hey-Hey's niece right here, Pressy. And
All three of them are at the house tonight.
We'll get right back in the LSU football chat. She just wanted to come say hi.
Say let's go, Fresh. Say let's go.
Are you gonna say go Tigers? Say it one time for us.
Oh, tiger.
Well, yeah. Well, gonna say bye, Trey. I mean, say bye.
Freshy.
Say bye, Presh.
All right.
All right.
I got you a star.
What you
My
say?
name gets mixed up again.
I don't mix your names up again. Yeah, show her when you're cut. Oh my god.
It's
All right,
okay.
we all have fun.
Come on, baby.
Go on. She just said go Tigers. She's so sweet. She really is the best. So I'll say it again. So I don't know if Robert's still watching. So for those that don't know, Robert is, battling cancer, and he joined us and gave a very generous. It's true, Mike. Robert gave a very generous super chat, and a few weeks ago, Pressy, it's just always better from a kid. And Pressy sent a video message to Robert and said, get well soon. And that made Robert's evening. So Presh is awesome. And she is making up for our lack of adorableness because we haven't had Boog, but here in a few weeks, we'll have a new little puppy. Yeah, so Presh is just, a sweetheart. She is an absolute sweetheart. Let's see. Daughters and granddaughter. There you go. Creek's a girl dad, too. It's so cool Kobe made it a thing, though. It was L. Duncan, the ESPN viral clip, girl dad. That's just so cool. It really is. But yeah, that's great. Love me some Presh. Let's see. But yeah, so obviously the offensive line needs to get developed. And look, the bottom line is blitz pickups got to get better. And, I think Brad Davis is even gone. Because here's the thing, when Brad Davis got the job, right first couple of days here, his first few things has been recruiting. So I'm sure he's not even had the opportunity to really digest. He doesn't get the opportunity to digest the film yet. And as you guys know, my diehards know this. You guys watched that 1.5-hour film study that we did at the Texas A&M game. And, it's still the biggest project I've ever done on here, where we broke down every offensive snap, and it still blows my mind. This is what really – okay, and this goes – I got sidetracked. But anyway, the Chase and Hines thing I was talking about a minute ago, okay, this is the – Will Campbell, let's go. Huh? But this is the biggest problem I had with the Chase and Hines thing, right? What's up, Kenneth? It wasn't Chase and Hines struggling, okay? Anytime I'm pointing out something, it's just an objective view. It has nothing to do with the players themselves, right? I just think the biggest issue for me was that LSU never change things up. And it took Jason Hines getting hurt for them to finally realize that Cam Wire was a better right guard. And so they started Cam Wire against Ole Miss, and he played pretty well, all things considered. So, this is going to be a big model for me next season. Whether it's Chasen, whether it's anyone, okay? The thing that would have been the best thing for Chasen Hines would have been to bench him. When somebody struggles, the best thing to do is to bench them, okay? And this is just a good, just a good lesson. A lot of you probably coach your kid in basketball. And if you're in a slump, sometimes the best thing to do is just bench somebody. And then they can gather themselves, see the game from the sidelines. Things begin to slow down for them. But LSU, despite weekly having major issues, they never made any changes. They really never changed anything. And I understand the backups with what we saw in the spring game weren't all that great, but the starters were playing so bad, it would have behooved LSU to put in some fresh bodies. Because sometimes the guys that are better can struggle so much that you just need to move on. Slime says RB is a missing piece. Well, maybe you just got to open up some holes in the running game first. Nah, the Juwan, that's part of me too. Yeah, DRC, I agree. So I want to ask, who looked awful at the LSU camp? Oh, we're talking about Lucas Taylor. Yeah, I think Lucas Taylor can be a good SEC guard. I just don't think he's year one or year two. It's funny. I didn't know this at the time, but I actually have friends that played at Lucas Taylor's high school. And they're a very run-based attack. And yeah, it's interesting because his pass sets were really, really rough. And I think LSU feels really confident. And look, LSU really, out of anybody, LSU really needs to land Kendrick Law. LSU really needs to land a lot of people. But the one uncommitted guy that should be their number one target is Emory Jones. And he's going to be such a critical piece. He really is. What's up, Marcus? Marcus, man, you've missed some fireworks tonight. Everyone welcome Marcus in the chat. Marcus and I had a good conversation earlier today about Emory Jones of Florida and our hopefully very own Emory Jones. God, I freaking love me some Emory Jones. You know, could be good. Marcus, you missed some huge super chats earlier. You missed some really good Ricky Collins chat. You missed some Haley's nieces providing some top-notch Andy Kaufman level comedy. Yeah, I do too. I think Emory Jones is a real deal. And Marcus, we're talking about meeting up for the Central Michigan game, potentially. I'd love to do that. Kenneth, how was work tonight, man? Let us know. Okay, Jared's back from the store. Jared, what did you have to get, man? Jared said, oh, look, I'm out of Miller Lite, and it's Saturday. I need to get a 12-pack for tomorrow. I knew Marcus was going to come in. Marcus said, look, there are some $50 super chats. Marcus said, look, I'm coming in with the Benjamin. Marcus said, I'm coming in hot with the Benji. All right, guys. Look, Haley's occupied tonight. She's got her 3 favorite people on the planet hanging out with her tonight. I guess we're going all night tonight. Jared, did you get me my 12-pack of Michelob Lime Ultra? Yes, Jared, I love it. Ice cold beer, right? Yeah. And you also missed this, Marcus, our guy Keon, our resident college student. We got a lot of college students that watch our channel. Also, we have official AP. He's an actual college football player. I think PHL's got to go make a road trip to Concordia, Minnesota. Okay, Kenneth. Oh, Kenneth. Hey, everyone. Kenneth had a 12-hour workday today. Well, it looks like we're going to have to make this Central Michigan thing happen, guys. It's going to take some planning. I don't know. I'm going to try and see what I could set up for us to go do. It'd be cool if we all just sat in the upper deck together. PHL big timing in the top left corner. It'll just be us and the echo of Dan Bournet. I have no idea, Jared. Alan says, I think John Emory could be a good runner.
Can I use one of those headphones for Pressy? Will it plug in?
Yeah.
To the iPad?
Yeah.
Because she's fussing because Aniston took the other headphones.
The other headphones? Are you talking about one of the other ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, just grab it.
Can I unscrew?
No, it won't because the iPad is this bottom. Because this is
no, the iPad has a different bottom.
No, it doesn't. It's all 1/4 inch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we not have another one?
I'm
not letting her use my AirPods.
No, don't let them use your AirPods. Marcus just dropped a hundo. Come say hi to Marcus.
Hey, Marcus. Sorry, let me cover up my chin. Hello. We got kiddos out here, and I'm trying to corral them, and it's not easy.
Well, give them candy. You got them all that candy.
I'm trying.
Purple and gold parasols. John Emery could be a good running back. Okay, well, Marcus and I were talking about running backs recently. Okay, let's do this. This is always a fun chat topic. Do you guys feel okay? Let's do this because I know half of you are on TDP and half of you are on Emory. Who here? All right. Let's mix up this question. How confident are you that either John Emery or Ty Davis Price will be LSU's leading rusher? Okay. Do you guys feel as if John Emery and Ty Davis Price are the clear-cut favorites for the leading rusher for LSU? Okay. How many of you feel that is the case? Or do you think someone else is going to take over? Okay, Kevontre Bradford's out of the picture. Do you guys feel confident that it's either going to be Ty Davis Price or John Emery as the best running back on the team? Okay. So Marcus says he feels pretty confident. But it's crazy the amount of messages I get from people that don't even watch me regularly, that have no ties to LSU football. That's not. I know that, Luke. My point. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Luke. Okay. I am shocked that there's. I get messages from people saying, Carter, you better. Armani Goodwin, year one, is going to be the best player on the team. They say he's going to be the best offensive weapon on the team. And I was like, well, you know about this Kayshawn guy? They're like, no. Armani Goodwin fits this offense so perfectly. And I could kind of see that. I think best offensive player on the team is a stretch, but he's athletic enough. Heck, go watch his highlights. That guy has got some burst out of shotgun. Exactly, Marcus. It looks like he's playing at a different speed. Carvis, every time. Carvis will be quiet for 2 hours during the chat. But when TDP and Emory come up, Carvis comes in with the Chubb and Michelle. I love it. Copy and paste every time. I feel like Carvis is just a bot. I feel like there's a TDP fan out there that created a bot, like a Discord chat bot, that every time we bring up the TDP and Emory conversation, but Mark, it's crazy because I feel the same way about Armani Goodwin. I feel like Armani Goodwin is so daggum fast that he might be so undeniably athletic that you have to play him. But you see, DRC says this. And DRC makes a good point here. Maybe, and just maybe, that it doesn't matter who actually the running back and the wide receivers will be. He says it's just as important that we need to keep a tighter rotation. I like that. I really do. Exactly, Marcus. Sometimes, and this is a really good point by Marcus, sometimes you could be so athletic that you don't even have to think before you play. You're just so athletic that you can make any cut on the field and outrun everyone. There's not as much thought process that goes into the play and your development. And that's obviously, different. It's completely different at the college level. The one thing, if you want to really go appreciate Clyde in his running, go watch some of the runs Clyde made against Florida and Auburn. Alabama is always going to be his best game. But Florida and Auburn in particular, Clyde made a lot of runs where he had to process a lot of information quickly. So it wasn't just him getting the football and going through a gap. It was him seeing a hole open up on the backside and taking it. It was him making a guy miss and then getting to the next level immediately. It was high IQ running. He could process information really fast. Yeah, Reggie Bush too. I mean, Reggie's probably the best college running back, especially in the modern era, probably ever. You know, he's up there with, you know, Derrick Henry, McFadden, those guys. It's interesting. Yeah, DRC was interesting how different, you know, you go back to the Texas game. Clyde had some pass pro misses. And, you know, DRC, it's funny you bring that up. What's that? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing me my Sprite. Everyone say, thank you so much. That's Emmitt Smith's style of running back. Yeah, he's just great. He was so great. Clyde's just so much fun to watch. He really is. You know, I'm starting to see a few NFL guys tweet his clips out, and they're like, okay, this guy really is good. Oh, Barry Sanders. Love it. But DRC, it's interesting you make that comment, okay? So DRC, it's amazing. I like the way DRC thinks about things. I really do. So DRC said, we rotate running backs far too often. Now, you notice his next comment, and he probably doesn't know what he just said here. He said, I don't feel like CEH found his groove until a few games in during that magical year. Okay. So he's actually right about that. You know, Clyde got better as the season went on. The sign of a good football player or a good football coach or a good football team is that as a season moves on, you get better. I remember Marcus bringing this up a few weeks ago when we were talking about what's a good win or loss number, and Marcus made a good point. I just want to see our team get better as the season moves on. And whatever you want to say about LSU last season, you got to give Ed Orgeron this little bit of credit. The team did get better, okay? The Mississippi State game was bad. The Auburn game was really bad. We were always going to get slaughtered by Alabama, but we did play better. The defense didn't have that great game against Texas A&M. And our offensive line started getting better, and some of that was because, you know, Cam Wire got in there at right guard. But, you know, our offensive line did play slightly better. You know, they had some decent games. So there is something to that. But this is so funny. DRC made the point that Clyde got better as the season moved on. But do you remember what happened in the middle of the season? And we tend to forget this very thing. Leonard Fournette quit the team. He quit. He said he wanted to get on with his life in the middle of an undefeated season because LSU was going to start phasing him out. I don't know exactly why he decided to quit. You know, obviously, you know, I love Leonard. Leonard's probably, you know, a lot of your favorite player. I know Jesse, he's not here tonight, but Jesse is, you know, I sent him a bunch of, I sent him my favorite Leonard Fournette card. And it's funny that that's the case, right? That once Leonard Fournette got out of the rotation and they weren't force feeding him the ball, and let's be honest, Leonard Fournette was not a Division I Power 5 running back. You know, his client got better. So DRC, I know you didn't mean to do that, but you kind of proved your own point with that. Because you notice when Leonard got out of the picture, Clyde went into overdrive. We had the Auburn game. Then we had probably the greatest game in LSU running backs ever played, the Alabama game. And I don't think there's really a close second, to be honest. I mean, Fournette versus Auburn was great. We'll never forget it. Jared and I were talking about that game earlier. You know, it's up there. Jeremy Hill, the breakout game against South Carolina, and the Iowa game. And, you know, we can list a lot of other Kev Falk against Florida. We can go on and on. But Clyde versus Alabama will probably never get touched, really. I mean, it was so great. So, yeah, you know, I don't know if Cliff's still in here, but, God, you know, LSU had such a heavy running back rotation. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, Hester against Florida was pretty good. Yeah, that's something else you miss, Marcus. We were talking about Jacob Hester a lot. What a freaking legend. Guys, I do want to share this with you. God, I'm an Armani Goodwin guy, too. I'm not going to lie. I'm an Armani Goodwin stan. I'm starting to buy some hype. And I actually do like Corey Kiner as well. To the point where I'm really confident with both of them that I wouldn't lose sleep if we were only a one running back class in 2022. Even though I think LSU could potentially take 2, maybe 3. I know Damari Alston is someone Orgeron likes a lot. But, you know, you got Citizen and Jennings. And Marcus is a big Jennings guy. I like me. So I keep saying Jennings, Louisiana, an Etienne guy. I don't know why I keep saying Jennings, because Jennings is such a popular running back name. But Etienne, I like Etienne a lot too. Exactly, DRC. And the thing about running backs getting into a groove now, Casey, thank you for the super chat, man. And Casey, I could see your profile photo a little bit better. Is that you and your son in Pee Wee football? Casey, thank you for your super chat. So, Casey, you get to pick the topic along with Marcus chatting running backs. Anthony Jennings. Casey, thank you so much, man. You're leaving us, Casey? You can't. Casey, don't drop a super chat and leave, man. Pop Warner, that's cool stuff. Round of applause for Casey with the super chat, coaching up the little man. I love it, man. We got a bunch of super dads in here. I know Jared's a super dad. Trey's a super dad. Kareem and his son Caden are normally watching. I don't think he's in here tonight. So I love seeing good fatherhood. It's bedtime. Well, Casey, tell the little man good luck and Pop Warner this upcoming season. And thank you, Casey. Keep supporting your little man. I know for certain, you know, my dad and my mom are very active in my sporting career, and it's the world. So for all you super dads out there, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. You are the most important thing to our youth. Anthony Jennings. Thanks for the contribution. I haven't seen Kareem and Caden in a while. Alan S., thank you for all your good questions as always. To you, I haven't shouted you out yet. Go Tigers. Keon has been very active on the Venmo. Blanche. Slime. I still love that name, Slime. I just like the word slime. So yeah, I'm. What's up, Robbie? Robbie, is this your first time with us? Welcome. Yeah, I think the running back stable, it's a little uncertain, but look, there have been other years where, sometimes it's what you don't want to do is build your offense around any one running back. Okay. And I think looking back, part of the downfall of Les Miles was thinking that handing the football to Leonard Fournette every play will solve all your problems. It did against Auburn, but it never did against Alabama. Okay. The thing is, you just need a running back out there. He doesn't have to be spectacular, but he's got to be able to do a lot of different things well. Okay, Robbie, your first time. We've been doing a lot of first time shout outs. So everyone welcome Robbie to the chat. I know a lot of you have been doing clap emojis for welcomes tonight, but make Robbie feel welcome. This is a very important Power Hour LSU community. Robbie, pay attention to everyone's comments except for Carvis. You notice Carvis has not commented since the Blanche. Carvis hasn't commented since the Sony Michelle and Nick Chubb thing. I'm telling you, Carvis is a bot. Oh man. Yeah, Brandon, and he got spoiled, and he also thought you could just hand the ball to him and win every game when you just can't do it. TDP, Emory, Goodwin, Kiner, fairly different styles with each. TDP is the most known product. Emory has a combination in talent and experience if he puts it together. The other two are freshmen. Yeah, I know, Carvis. When you're a PhD student and you have me in the background, I don't know how you do it, Carvis. But yeah, this is Carvis. I was like, I was wondering where you were. I was wondering where Carvis was. Live chats are always better with Carvis. Oh, DRC, do you remember that play against Florida? I know, Marcus. It's amazing, like how many people say that they listen to the channel while they're working. That's obviously really cool. Yeah, DRC. So you guys remember the toss dive versus Florida with 0 seconds left? That Florida loss really stung. Really stung. Blanche, I heard Goodwin is good out of the backfield. I know, DRC. Okay, so Geis ran the wrong way and still almost went in. I hated that Florida team so much. I hated that whole ordeal. My God, that whole ordeal was just, it really proved. And trust me, LSU has no moral high ground to stand on. But God, dude, Florida's the one school I just can't stand. We all have the one school that you just can't stand. Man, Carvis, Goodwin has some real pop to his game. Well, Blanche, is that true? Okay, let's do this. We're 2 hours in. We always go on some little side topics. What is the one fan base team that really grinds your gears? Okay. Oh, I know, Mike. What is the one fan base? What is the one fan base that really grinds your gears? Max, really? Georgia? Max, are you with the girlfriend tonight? Johnny, you still there? Georgia? I'm buzzing. I am not buzzing. I promise you. This is my first alcoholic beverage for the evening. I know, Blanche. We've dominated Georgia. I don't know if Georgia. What about Georgia? Robbie, yeah, but I don't know. We had the Sugar Bowl win against Notre Dame. Cody, yours is Bama. Roger, USC, really? Are you talking about South Carolina? Yeah, Robbie, I don't think I could get. Okay, here's why I can't hate Georgia. Number one, Georgia, out of all the red schools, I don't like red schools or red teams. The only red team that I like is Liverpool. Red is just such a basic color for sports. I hate it. So, like, for instance, like I keep up with Arkansas baseball because my friends, I grew up around all Arkansas fans, and Arkansas baseball played all red teams in their regional, and now they're playing a red team in the super regional. And I don't like that aesthetic. I like one team having like I like Florida being blue and orange, which is, pretty unique. And I like LSU being purple and gold. I just think the red aesthetic is just overdone. Okay? I just don't like it. Dude, Carvis, I agree with you. Big Al says Bama and UF. I can understand Big Al saying Bama because he lives in Alabama. I know a lot of you live in Alabama, which is kind of weird. Yeah, at least with Notre Dame, the Notre Dame aesthetic is so unique. The navy, gold, and green. I like Notre Dame's uniforms. I really do. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not an Ohio State guy. I hate Ohio State. But for whatever reason, as far as out-of-state programs are concerned, or out-of-conference programs are concerned, I've never understood why I hated Texas so much. I don't know why I hate Texas so daggum much. And I liked Vince Young, and I've liked a few other Longhorns. Oh, Cody, your neighbor's a Florida fan? Because of Ian Book. Yeah. But Robbie, he might get cut in a year. I don't know if that's worth. Yeah, here's the thing. Never been to a college city better than Athens, Georgia, though. That is the perfect college city. It's a perfect college city. Perfect. Everything about it was fun. I freaking loved Athens. I freaking loved it. So yeah, elite college city. We've dominated them. I kind of like Georgia. Yeah, Carvis, Texas A&M gets a little annoying. The fight with hitting a guy with Parkinson's and that being Jimbo's relative, that kind of got on my nerves, obviously. And then it almost got Kev Falk in a lot of trouble because Kev could have easily just murdered that kid right then and there. And Kev Falk wouldn't be allowed to coach now if he would have murdered Jimbo's nephew or whatever. Yeah, I just I don't know. I just can't really get too mad at Bama. I just can't get too mad at them. They beat us too much. I don't think I don't like them, but I feel as if Florida, there's a little bit more hatred and vitriol there. Of course, the Bama game changed with Coach Orgeron with the RTWFU. And I really do feel this way. I think at this point now, Alabama fans, since what happened in Tuscaloosa has happened, I think they have an issue with us. I think they have a bigger issue with us than, back in 2011 when we beat them. Yeah. And this is a problem with LSU, and I know a lot of you have been watching LSU football longer than I have. It's never really bothered me that LSU has never had a rival. Okay. So for me, growing up in Arkansas, the LSU Arkansas game had a little bit more meaning because there are so many LSU fans in South Arkansas, and there are a lot of, there are a lot of Razorbacks in North Louisiana. Not a whole lot, but there's quite a few. And yeah, that game really meant a lot to that area. And LSU Arkansas for, a decade was really good. But, the Golden Boot was just kind of forced for a lot of you. I thought it was great. Very similar schools demographically. They shared a lot in common. But I'm fine with LSU never having a rival. I'm fine with that. I think rivalries are better when it's not forced. I don't think you can force a rivalry. I don't think that you can just say this is your new rival. I just think it just kind of has to happen. And the problem with Florida, calling Florida a rival, I also think in order for that school to be a rival, in the true sense of the word, you have to be that other school's top 2 or 3 rival, okay? And we are not Florida's top rival. Georgia is a bigger rival than to Florida than us. Florida State is a bigger rival to Florida than us. So, we're probably number 3 in the eyes of Gators fans. So, yeah, I just think, I don't know how you feel about the subject, but that's just how I felt. I'm perfectly fine with LSU not having a rival. I know that there's a lot of LSU fans that want to make Texas A&M that. I just don't feel that way. I just don't. I don't think they're on our level. I think they can be. They're recruiting really well. I just don't think, the 8 overtime game was bad, obviously, and then the punching of our coach, we just touched on that. But, I just can't view Texas A&M as a rival. I'm sorry. Especially considering Texas A&M doesn't play Texas. That's not fair. That's not fair to the sport. That they deserve to play each other every year. Nobody, Marcus. A&M. The Bevo burgers. I like that. Who has the best rivalry in college football? Okay, Robbie, I'm going to give you an answer that not a whole lot are going to agree with. Okay, so obviously the 2 big rivalries that get talked about the most in all of college football are Alabama Auburn and Michigan Ohio State. Okay, those are like the 2 big national rivals. Okay, because those 4 programs have, storied histories, okay, with the national championships and whatnot and wherever. But to me, the rivalry itself is not as great because every season Alabama and Ohio State are competing for national championships. So that game is never the most important game on the schedule. Okay. So obviously the biggest rivalry in college football that has the biggest symbolic meaning is Army-Navy. And there's not really a game that comes close to that as far as what the game actually means. You know, football-wise, socially, politically, all these different reasons. Okay. So Army-Navy is always going to be, you know, the most storied rivalry we have in the sport. Okay. But the best rivalry, Bama Clemson, yeah, I could see that. But nothing, and I mean nothing on this planet Earth will ever come close to Ole Miss and Mississippi State. It's the best rivalry. The best rivalry. I love that rivalry for so many different reasons. Neither one of those programs are going to come close to a college football playoff. So their biggest games on the schedule will always be each other. It is a true in-state backwoods rivalry. I also love the fact that the game is played on Thanksgiving. So that is true rivalry. There are real split families that eat Thanksgiving together and have to break bread over that game. So it's true. It's a true rivalry in every sense. So that game is watched by big groups of Mississippi families that are oftentimes split down the middle. And all they've had is each other. Neither one of them have done anything relevant. Neither one of them have this storied history. Neither one of them have produced an elite amount of NFL guys. They produced, I mean, the last decade, they've both done a really good job of that. But I just feel that the bad blood in that rivalry is real. And they've played chaotic games. And I love it. I flat out love it. I think the Egg Bowl is the best. It's real. I think it's very, very real. And that rivalry makes me feel something. Alabama-Auburn, you know, there's history. Obviously, Alabama families are split on that. But every single season, the bigger story is what is Alabama going to do in the playoff? The same thing is true for Ohio State and Michigan. Yes, those are bigger national rivalries, but neither time is that game the biggest game on their schedule. Okay? Now it's a big deal. I'm nationally upset that those are bigger rivalries in the eyes of everyone. Okay? Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn. But nothing beats Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Nothing beats Elijah Moore teeing on the football. Nothing. Exactly, Roger. Max, thank you. Max says Miami, Florida State. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I can't think of a memorable Miami, Florida State game off the top of my head, though. I really can't. Let me pull up the Egg Bowl history. We're 2.5 hours in. This is still Markets of Super Chat. What is your favorite rivalry? I am perfectly fine with not having a rival. Okay. The first ever meeting between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Wait, what? What is this? Wait, what? Was delayed 40 minutes in 1901 over the eligibility of Norvin E. Green That is such a 1901 name, Norvin. Norvin. Let's see. Ole Miss 31-28. Yeah, but in the other way around, there hasn't really been a whole lot of memorable Egg Bowls, really. Lots of these games are like kind of blowouts. I don't know. I just feel like the Egg Bowl, the fan bases really hate each other. Call me a weirdo. You know what, Marcus, is interesting. I want to see what Mike Norvell does in year 2. Florida State is probably the sleeping giant since they recruit at such a high level and they're still so bad. Yeah, what happened in that UL game? Yeah, Patrick, we haven't talked a whole lot about the Red River rivalry. I actually like that one a lot too, Patrick. We haven't mentioned it at all. 11 a.m. in the Cotton Bowl every year. I think that's a good rivalry. And there's been a lot of memorable Red River shootouts. I like that. Yeah, I'm all about that. I love Red River. You see, that's how I feel, Carvis. I feel as if, I don't know. I just love the Egg Bowl, man. I think the Egg Bowl is the best thing. I really do. And I do think the Egg Bowl loses some of its luster if it's not played on Thanksgiving. I feel as if it needs to be played on Thanksgiving. That's true too, Marcus. Always set in a bye week before the Bama game. That's a good point. LSU and Alabama's had a bye week before each other. Let's see if we can. We always do some trivia late at night. Let's see who can guess this correctly. When was the last time LSU and Alabama did not have a bye before each other? Both teams having a bye before each other. Can someone name it off the top of their head? The last season, LSU and Alabama both had a bye week the week before each other. Oh, 08, 04. Dang, Marcus is right. It was 2009. The famous Patrick Peterson interception game. It was 09. I think it was 09. I'm pretty sure it was 09. And then for 2010 on, we both had a bye week before each other. Every year. Exactly, Robbie. I was right there on the sideline, man. Now, controversial, Robbie. Robbie, I know this is your first chat. Controversial is probably the understatement of the century on this. Yeah, it was 2009. Robbie says, I've never heard my mom swear so much in my life. Robbie, watch your mom. Mrs. McPherson is about Debbie McPherson. Robbie, it feels like your mom's name is Debbie. Debbie McPherson. Who here thinks Robbie's mom's name is Debbie? It's got to be Debbie. I could see a Debbie McPherson being like, that his favorite. Oh, man. I love it. I could see Debbie McPherson. Debbie, Robbie put you out there for cursing. Wait, not too far off? Okay. Debbie, Diane McPherson actually makes some sense. Are we going Diane? I could see Debbie McPherson. Marcus, Marcus is good at guess. Marcus, what do you think? Diane, Debbie? Poll on Twitter. Wait, hold on. I think I could do a poll right here. Let's see. Let's see it. Debbie or let's see. The Y at the end is a trick. Wait, did anyone see the poll? All right. Okay. I need some people to vote. This is so weird. Let's see. Do y'all see that? Okay, no. All right, hold on. That's too easy. Okay, that's too easy. I ended that poll. Crap, it's not letting me do another poll. It's actually messed up my chat. Someone hit something else on here. Okay, here we go. Deborah? Or is it? Okay, the Y at the end is a trick. Darcy? Does it begin with the D? Does it begin with the D? It has to begin with the D if I was close. Yeah, I just got a picture. No, I got it. Dorothy. It's Dorothy. It's Dorothy. It's Dorothy. Dorothy McPherson. Maggie? What? Kyle, what is Maggie? Carvis. And we need to figure out Robbie McPherson's mom's name. The Y at the end? What does that? What does the hint mean? Robbie, I hope you can take jokes. I hope so. Once again, Robbie is new to the chat. Okay, Carvis is going with Mary. Mary McPherson. I could see that. Mary McPherson sounds like a character on Remember the Titans. Yeah, exactly, Rob. Robbie's first ever live chat. We're trying to guess his mom's name. But you see, I could just picture Robbie's mother. I could picture Robbie's mother going nuts. Because look, we all did. Why are you bugging? It's basically like being at a tailgate. Well, Robbie, I'm so sorry that this is your first ever live chat. And this happened. Okay, Robbie, it's time for you to reveal your mother's name. Well, Robbie, if you feel uncomfortable, you could just make something up, honestly. This is what happens late in the stream. Let's see. Kathy. Oh, no, Kathy. And with the K as well. Kathy. Not Kathy. Oh, God. Kathy. Oh, Kathy. Cappy popping off in Tiger Stadium. But the game wasn't in Tiger Stadium. DRC should have known that. Who doesn't have an uncathy? Everyone's got an uncathy. It just matters if it's a C or a K. But I'm sure I could see Kathy McPherson having some sass when it comes to her LSU football. I could see it. Robbie's probably sending this stream to Kathy, and she's going to turn on. She's like, what the F am I watching? Johnny, it's okay. Oh, man. That's so funny. Johnny, man. Cliff went to go watch the Super Regional, and then he decided to come back. What kind of fan are you, Cliff? Okay, Cliff claims to be the Power Hour LSU fan club president, but he left to go watch the LSU baseball game and then came back to the live stream. So I was second fiddle to his evening. Now, here's the thing. Johnny. You're the vice president, Johnny. Do you think that is PHL presidential behavior? Executive decision. So I'm guessing they play. I'm sure they play tomorrow. It's best 2 of 3, right? Yeah, Armani Goodwin. Cliff says I could make the executive decision to leave your chat whenever I want. You see, Cliff, you could have multitasked. Well, I get Cliff's probably at the bar watching this. He'd probably have pluckers. He's. Thank you, Kenneth. That's my kind of guy right there. And Cliff, you have missed some diehard LSU analysis here. Talking about Kathy McPherson, the legendary Kathy McPherson. Notice our viewers went up. They shot up after the LSU baseball game. So I feel as if the chat is leaning towards Armani Goodwin over Corey Kiner, which puts me in a tizzy because Corey Kiner follows me on IG now. I think. I actually do like Corey Kiner a lot. I really do. I don't think he's a year one guy, though. I think Goodwin would be a more year one type of guy because he played such a stiffer level of competition. Yeah, DRC, it's interesting. You know, like I always say, after 2 hours, we'll go into different topics. You know, William, what's good, man? Paul Manieri is just an interesting case of, was it too late? Did they wait too late? Yes, Big Al, thank you. So Cliff, okay, Cliff wants some more diehard film study. You know what's funny, Marcus? Marcus, remind me to send you this. I watched a really good. Marcus, text me after. Marcus, text me after the live chat. I want to send you something on Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think you'd like. Just text me after. I'll send it to you. I was watching it last night. Manieri. Yeah, Alan, running back rotation is going to be huge. Exactly, Marcus. It was so interesting that John Emory and Mauls Brennan could never really connect throwing and running. I'm trying to see if there was something LSU related that we didn't touch on. We talked about Denver Harris earlier. We talked about Emory Jones. We are a Ricky Collins fan club here. Also, Walter Nolan official visit locked in. Okay. Interesting. We talked some recruiting earlier. Yeah. Okay, Marcus wants to talk Arch. Oh, you're talking about Archie. You want to talk about Archie Manning? We'll talk some Arch. That's fine. But we'll talk about some Archie as well. I thought the SEC storied on Archie Manning was really cool. You know what's funny? I haven't gotten to see the Skip Burtman hold the rope thing. I would like to. I found it interesting, though, really quickly on LSU baseball, that Brad Cressy lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I did not know that. I didn't know he was like very involved with the Baton Rouge community. You know, I would like to see. I'm guessing. I was told he's not involved with the LSU baseball program. You know, I don't want Brad Cressy to be the next coach, but it'd be interesting to have a guy with that much experience, you know, to be around the program. I freaking love me some Brad Cressy. Ricky did get an offer today. Ed Orgeron's a Ricky guy. I don't know if you guys saw that video today. Ed Orgeron getting red in the face about Ricky Collins. It's hard to not see what you like. I mean, obviously, you know, physically, if you look at the 2023 quarterbacks, Holstein physically is probably the most impressive. You know, Arch still has, you know, he's got a good quarterback frame. I think he still has some growing to do. You know, Ricky is, you know, is he better than Eli Holstein? I don't know. Dude, Ricky's good though. I mean, you know, I could, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten quite a few messages from Ricky fans asking me to talk about him more. And, you know, I did a community post on him not too long ago when I first learned about him. And I got a hold of some of his footage, and I was like, you know what? He does look like a Division I quarterback. He obviously still has 2 more years of developing. You know, an Eli Holstein, Ricky Collins class would be interesting. Now, would both of them come to LSU? I doubt it. I think both of them could come to LSU. You obviously take both of them. Someone asked if you take both of them, even with slots being the way that they are now, and even with LSU's scholarship crunch coming, you know, quarterback's just too valuable of a position where if you have 2 Louisiana quarterbacks that both want to come to LSU, you got to take both of them. I'm sorry, you just do. But the likelihood of both of them coming is just so highly unlikely. But I still think out of any of these quarterbacks, and this is including Arch, I'm still taking Walker Howard. I'm in love with this guy's game. Now, the difference is we only have 1 year sample with Walker Howard as a starter. And with Eli Holstein, we only have 1 year sample. And with Arch, we have 2 years. So, you know, it's interesting that we've yet to see Ricky Collins' junior season. And the thing that's interesting about quarterback is that it's such a mental position that mentally, your brain is still developing until your mid-20s. So, we're talking about kids that are still physically growing, physically developing. And, quarterback, there's so many, I just think quarterback evaluating is just so off kilter because, like take Ricky Collins, for instance. Athletically, he's not going to he doesn't look like Cam Newton. He's not some guy that's just going to blow you away with with really anything. He's just really good. Like he's really, really good at football. And, so sometimes the guys that are just mentally strong, you just take and you hope they turn into something. Yeah, Denver Harris, his stepdad is Tack Minor, even though it's an LSU basketball thing. But yeah. Yeah, well, not another guys, but we know what Marcus is talking about. Patrick Mahomes level? I don't know. I don't. They're similar playmakers. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, Mahomes just makes impossible plays. I don't know too many quarterbacks that make impossible plays like Patrick Mahomes. That's interesting, Johnny. So I know Ja a little bit. I've talked to him a few times. I like Ja a lot. Ja is a good example of an LSU player who, didn't have the absolute best LSU career, but really, there was never, when I was around LSU players more often, Ja was a dude. He even when he got burned by AJ Green and burned by a lot of really good receivers, he just kept playing. He kept battling. And it would be nice to see Ja's son get an opportunity with LSU. He's at Destrehan now. I saw him make a pretty miraculous interception at the Texas camp today. And Ja Eugene posted a photo on his Twitter account. And yeah, I like Ja Eugene a lot personally. And I'm glad he has a really successful seafood business. I would kill for some crawfish right now. Because Haley's nieces are over here, we just ordered pizza tonight. And it was Domino's, and Domino's is excellent. But still, I've been craving some seafood. We had salmon last night. I think tomorrow we're doing chicken wings, so I'm really excited about it. Well, we'll probably do leftover pizza. Gotta save for the dog. Even though tonight you guys have been really generous. What's up, Hitstick? Good to hear from you, Hitstick. I don't care if this sounds like blasphemy, but if we get Walker and he turns out to be everything we hope he is, and Arch goes somewhere out of conference, yeah, and Hitstick, I just think the second part of it is just true on its own. The one thing you just got to hope for is Arch doesn't go to Alabama. I can live with him going to Ole Miss, but not Alabama. Domino's is good. Excellent is probably a strong word, but it's really good. Domino's is really, really good. Yeah, that's a good point, Marcus. Let's see. Rita, I hope you're right, man. I'm a huge Walker Howard guy. I'm a huge guy. Well, and I don't like. I probably won't say it as much, but I just get excited, man. I think he's going to lead LSU to a playoff. You know, I could see Walker Howard to Chris Hilton. Arch will be at Bama. That's the thing, you know, when freaking Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith are talking about Arch, it's just kind of like that's when I'm like, all right, it's already reached take culture, and I don't mind hot take culture. I really don't. It's entertainment. But still. There was some ridiculous quote that Max Kellerman said about Arch Manning the other day, and it did make me vomit. Yeah, Johnny, that's interesting. I do think Nuss will get his opportunity to be the starter. Yeah, Patrick, we haven't done this in a while. What are y'all having to eat tonight? We're almost 3 hours in. You know, we're all foodies. You guys always get to know what we're at, what I'm eating. I need everyone in the chat. Johnny, what are you and Gail having tonight? DRC, what's on the plate tonight? Patrick says chicken adobe. You cooked an oven ribeye? Marcus, you fiend? I love that. There he is. What's up, Jared? Jared dropping a super chat. I love it. Hitstick, you did boudin tonight? DRC had grilled pork loin 5 hours ago. You ate dinner at 5 Central, DRC? I like that, DRC. When you eat dinner at 5 Central, you are exactly 53 years old. So, DRC, I know your age. When you eat grilled pork loin at 5 Central, you are 53 years age. Okay, so Carvis, wings and broccoli. Okay, what was your chicken wing flavor, Carvis? I'm going to judge you heavily on this, Carvis. Catfish and potato salad? Or did you have catfish and potato? Is it catfish and potato salad, or was it catfish with the side of potato salad? Oh, DRC, I was close. DRC, you're turning 50 next month. Good stuff, man. Drodro just had Blaze Pizza, LeBron Pizza. I freaking love Blaze Pizza. I really do freaking love Blaze Pizza. Cajun wings, okay, I like it. Grilled or fried, that's huge, man. I only like grilled wings. Congratulations, DRC. Kenneth had Whataburger. Drojo had Blaze Pizza and daiquiris. Okay, Drojo. This is key. What was your daiquiri flavor? Gail makes the food decision. She's getting off work. Okay. Alan's a little bit behind on the chat. Yes, Carvis Stick grilled. You got to have wings grilled, baby. I love it. But I know this is going to sound strange. I think based on where I go out to get wings, Pluckers, their wings are so superior. They are so good. And I love Buffalo Wild Wings as well. I really do. Freaking love Buffalo Wild Wings. And I freaking love Pluckers too. I just think Baton Rouge is a good wing city. I do. Smoked wings? I could get down with some smoked wings. Tomato and bacon medley. Yeah, Jojo. Dude, Pluckers, dude, they're consistently elite. consistently elite. I mean, they're incredible. They're incredible. Michael B had Sprite. I like it. I guess I've never had TJ Ribs as chicken wings. What's KOK in Lafayette, Drodro? Drodro, are you in Lafayette? I'll come hang in Lafayette next time I'm coming down. Wings on you though, Drodro. What is KOK? That just sounds good. See, Haley grills wings, lemon pepper. She puts, I mean, I like my lemon pepper heavily seasoned with Frank's Red Hot off to the side. It's interesting, Hitstick, you say that, considering SMU just got like a top 100 QB this last cycle. But lemon pepper is by far the best wing flavor. I guess I don't think I've ever had smoked lemon pepper wings. All right, Marcus, when I'm in town, we're going, baby. Shreveport is so underrated. Yeah, Marcus, you know what's crazy? There's a lot of good crawfish in North Louisiana, but I don't think people are ready to have that conversation yet. Okay. North Louisiana's got some good crawfish spots, but I'm not sure if people are ready to have that conversation. I've never understood this. Maybe you guys can shine some light on it. I never understood like the disdain that some South Louisianians have for North Louisiana. I've never looked at the history of that. It is two completely different areas. They are really different, but North Louisiana is fine to me. I don't like, would I rather be in Baton Rouge or New Orleans over like Monroe or Shreveport? Yeah. But Monroe and Shreveport are just fine. They're just fine. Are you going out to VA? And where's everybody watching from? Yeah, I'm not saying crawfish is necessarily bad or better in North Louisiana, but there's some good crawfish. You know, I went to a place in Monroe that had good crawfish, and I was shocked. I was really shocked. It was that good. So where's everybody watching from? I know Cliff's in BR. Marcus is in Charleston. We haven't seen Eric in a while. Jared's in Alabama. Big Al's in North Alabama. Drodro's in Lafayette getting ready to go out to VA. Drodro, why are you going to VA, my man? Carver's in Florida doing that PhD stuff. River Ridge. DRC, that's right. You're in Atlanta. I like Atlanta. I do. Hickory, North Carolina, going to Savannah for Papa's dad. To go see your dad. That's cool. River Ridge. Johnny shared with us earlier that he was classmates with Drake Nevis. I love me some Drake Nevis, man. He's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. Yeah, Kenneth, it's North Louisiana is just fine. My favorite steakhouse in Louisiana is in Ruston. Bovines, man. Shout out to Rob and the crew there. They're so good. So good. John Curtis High School, baby. Are there any good football players that come from John Curtis? Any? Yeah, I get John Curtis and Rummel mixed up because they're the same school colors. But John Curtis is Joe McKnight and Malachi Dupree, right? Malachi Dupree was John Curtis, right? Let me look that up. Yeah, John Curtis. Interesting. I thought Duke Riley was John Curtis as well. I thought he was. Let's see. Yeah, he was John Curtis. Oh, it was Kendall Beckwith. That was Parkview. Duke Riley's lasted in the NFL longer than anybody probably expected. Happy for that guy, man. Barely made it into the LSU class. Barely. I'm happy he did. Wait, Marcus, you had someone try to punch your face off? I'm sorry to laugh at that, but I can see that. Yeah, Duke was a good player. Good guy to have in the locker room, too. I like how, once again, Alan is just... So the thing is with these live chats, if you join at a certain place, you can accidentally rewind it. Because especially if you're watching on your phone and you're like me and you have fat fingers, you can accidentally rewind it and think you're doing that. Okay, so Hitstick and Hitstick, this is not the first time you've done this. And trust me, I love super chats and I love fun questions such as this. Okay, I'll do it. Hitstick's like, okay, I'm gonna give you a super hard question, and these are the hardest questions. Okay. All right. Let's see. He clocked you in the back of the head like 5 times. That's even illegal in boxing and in UFC, the rabbit punch. Isn't that what it's called? A rabbit punch? I love, once again, Alan's comments are a little bit behind. Or maybe Alan is just watching this in a different universe. Maybe Alan is watching this with Leonardo DiCaprio on the in Inception, and he's just in like a different time zone, and like he's in the past. If y'all are Inception fans, you're my kind of guy. Christopher Nolan, best director of all time. Okay, hit stick. Let's go through this really quickly. Okay, all-time LSU offensive lineup at quarterback. I'm going to go Joe Burrow, running back. I'm going to go Clyde, wide receiver. I'm going to go Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Terrace Marshall. And the offensive line, I'm going to go with the 2007 offensive line. I'm going to go with that. There you go. That's my all-time LSU offensive lineup. I'm going to go with the 07 group. That was a really good group. The 11 group was probably up there. I think those are the two best. The 7 and 11 group. I also think what year was that? The 15 group was really good. But yeah, I think my favorite O-line was that 2007 group because the key. And here's the thing. So, let's see. What made the 07 group so good was their communication. And LSU had to come back a lot. So it's a lot harder to pass protect when the defense knows you're throwing the ball. So the 2007 group was a really good offensive line. Faneca, Whitworth, Collins, Black, and your fifth starter for the O-line. Good question. Well, we need a center, don't we? So Mawai. I think that's pretty easy for the fifth there. And then Todd McClure obviously is up there. Cushenberry, probably third or fourth team. I would probably take, and I think most people that know way more about this than I do would agree with this. I think Ben Wilkerson was a better player than Lloyd Cushenberry. And I don't think that that's really close either, even though Cush is probably going to have a better NFL career. If you give Burrow and Fournette that 07 O-line. Well, hit stick, here's the thing, I think, let me put it this way. I think Fournette fits Tom Brady a little better because Brady likes to play out of the eye, and Fournette is going to run the football out of the eye better than Clyde. But I'm not so sure. I mean, yeah, Fournette would put up ridiculous numbers in the 2019 offense, but I still think Clyde was the perfect fit for that group because Clyde is just a far superior receiver. And, he's just so much better at catching the ball out of the backfield. There's never been a running back who is a better receiver out of the backfield than Clyde Edwards-Helaire at LSU. Now, at the NFL level, the best receiving running back from LSU ever is probably Kev Falk, because those Brady teams wouldn't have won those Super Bowls without Kev Falk, more than likely. I mean, he was so big for them. But, I just think Clyde was just so perfect. And it wasn't just the fact that they were perfect. It's that him and Joe were really, really, really close. So, yeah. So, yeah, hit stick. I know that was a very simplified answer, but let's take the hit stick. You're a loyal viewer. You support, not only watching all my stuff, but, donating. Let's see. Let me give you the answer without the 2019 team. Okay, all-time LSU quarterback, taking the 2019 guys out. I still think it's Jamarcus Russell. I know a lot of people will say Matt Flynn, but Jamarcus Russell was still unbelievable at LSU. At running back, I think that's a close one. I think obviously when you factor in running back, obviously this channel focuses on the modern era. So and what I mean by modern era, more so the championship era. So from 03 on. So let's see. I think Fournette is still the guy. I still do. I think, Geis is obviously right there. Jeremy Hill is right there as well. Once again, we're not including the 2019 guys. And then, of course, Jacob Hasser is probably in that next tier. But, I'd still say Fournette. But you can make a case for Hester, Hill, Geis. The 3 wide receivers, I think Jarvis is absolutely one of those guys. I think, once again, we're not including 2019. So we're taking Justin out. We're taking Jamar out. We're taking Terrace out. We're going to go Jarvis. We're going to go Ruben Randall. And I think you have to go Odell, that other wide receiver. Obviously, we're talking just modern era. So obviously, that doesn't include Josh Reed. That does include Michael Clayton. And throw Josh Reed in there as well. So maybe Josh Reed over Ruben. But no matter what, Jarvis is in that group. And then my offensive line, I'm still going to go the 2007 or the 2011 offensive line. Dwayne Bowe, too. Marcus Randall, all-time QB. Second is Davey. Y.A. Tittle. Show some respect on his name. But yeah, behind Burrow, Jamarcus Russell is still the second best quarterback. And I understand, Matt Flynn and Matt Mock won championships. And Matt Flynn was incredible his senior season. He was simply incredible. He was really clutch. He was huge in so many different ways. I'll put it this way. The greatest non-Burrow quarterback performance in LSU history was Matt Flynn versus Auburn. And there's not really a close second. And it's not just the Dwayne Bowe throw. So I went back and rewatched that entire 2007 LSU versus Auburn game. And Matt Flynn was simply incredible. He was beyond incredible against Auburn, okay? Each one of his top receivers had a bad drop in that game, okay? Every single one of them. Brandon LaFell had the worst drop in LSU history. There will never be a worse drop than the drop he had against Auburn, where he flipped the ball in the air to an Auburn defender. Dwayne Bowe had a bad drop. Early Doucette had a bad drop. Terrence Tolliver, as a true freshman, had a bad drop. His teammates were failing him. And, we only remember the Dwayne Bowe throw. But he had to make so many big throws. There was a throw he made in that game where LSU was down 17-7 early in the second half. And he threw easily one of the most accurate balls in LSU history to Early Doucette between 3 guys. It's one of the best throws I've ever seen. It was one of the best throws you'll ever see, period. But the throw we talk about was a Dwayne Bowe throw, which was also an incredible throw. But if you go back and watch Matt Flynn, you have to watch the entire game. You'll see that his pass protection was very shaky in that game. That was a really good offensive line. They had their moments. The run game had its issues in that game as well. And Matt Flynn in 2007 had 2 300-yard passing games. He had the game against Auburn, but was really, and this is what was really impressive, was the very next week against Alabama, he had to lead another comeback. And, it was crazy how clutch he was. But even with all that said, I would still say Jamarcus Russell was the better LSU quarterback between the two of them. But Matt Flynn versus Auburn is still, until Joe Burrow changed our minds of what an LSU quarterback can be, it is unreal how good Matt Flynn was in that game. because he had no other games really like that one up to that point. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It really was a human being. And we saw Matt Flynn in the NFL have some ridiculous games as well. But up to that point, that was the first time. And what made it even crazier was, so Matt Flynn had to start against Miami, right? Well, his stats in that game weren't all that great. We blew him out. And what's even crazier was Matt Flynn as a high school quarterback was also not that dominant of a high school quarterback. So that game he had against Auburn was really, really special. In the grand scheme of things, it's truly one of the greatest things you'll ever see. It really is. Yeah, but I'm still taking Jamarcus over everybody except Joe Burrow. Alley-oop. Yeah, Matt Mock was pretty ice water too. Hit stick, this is a good one. Last question, brother. How good would Danny have been in the 2019 offense? Danny Etling? Hit stick, please clarify this. Flynn is your second favorite QB. I get it. I mean, he's just a funny dude too. He doesn't take life too seriously. I just enjoy him. I really do. And hopefully our number 15 this season balls out too. Went from beer to white liquor. This is straight vodka. So Danny Etling in the 2019 offense. Oh, boy. That probably wouldn't have been that great. And Danny Etling was a good quarterback, but, that offense was very limited. It was a very gadgety jet sweep. Russell Gage had 25 carries offense. But yeah, it's funny. It's absolutely funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know LSU coined the term alley-oop. I really didn't know that. I do, Carvis. I do. But, it's crazy because, as clutch as Matt Flynn was, Jamarcus Russell was also very clutch. I don't know what it is, but, LSU and their quarterbacks, and I know a lot of quarterbacks have this. I did not know that, Marcus. I really didn't. I thought Matt Canada overall was good. I really do. I do think it wasn't a good culture fit, though, with Orgeron. And, at the time, I thought Ed Orgeron, it's interesting. Canada's with the Steelers now. And I don't know how he's going to fit in with Big Ben. But I thought Ed Orgeron didn't really handle the Matt Canada thing all that well. He did make a good decision, though, that those two just were never going to work out. But here's the thing about LSU quarterbacks, okay? They all have these obscene, and I mean obscene, clutch throws, right? So, Marcus Randall obviously has the craziest throw in LSU history. Jamarcus Russell has the Ole Miss game, and he has that Arizona State throw that we don't talk enough about. That shouldn't have counted, but who cares? It was a great throw. And then obviously Joe Burrow has 3rd and 17. Matt Flynn has the Auburn throw. Matt has that Georgia game, even though our defense couldn't hold on there. But yeah, it's just crazy that LSU's had just these iconic quarterback moments. It's wild. It really is. Rohan Davey, of course, who can forget? just, man, it's wild. Rohan kind of gets lost in the middle of all this, right? Yeah, Met was dealing. You could tell Met in that game in particular had a chip on his shoulder. And Met really wasn't allowed to be Met, if we're going to be honest about everything. Met really wasn't allowed to be himself. There was no reason in 2012 that they had, the success that they had Jarvis Odell, but they also had Kadron Boone have a huge season. And then to phase Boone out of that offense and not really have a slot receiver was just so stupid. Yeah. Rohan was such a beast. I'm enjoying this, all these romanticizing with the past. We can get caught. I mean, we're going to talk so much about Mauls and Max and Walker and all these guys. Is Matt underrated? I think he is hit stick to a certain degree. You go back. So Matt had a serious knee injury in high school. He had some type of injury in high school. And he came back so strong that I remember reading this about him. He received an award from his doctor for the comeback athlete of the season. And then Matt gets to Georgia. Then he gets involved in this misconduct and, gets into legal trouble, apologizes, owns up to it. It gets settled. Then he goes to a junior college and then goes to the 2011 LSU team, sits the bench, and then year 4 of his development, he finally gets his opportunity to start, and he was rewarded with prime Odell and prime Jarvis. So it was a very interesting thing. I just think Les Miles, held him back. I really do. I mean, it hurt him when he got to the NFL because he was such a statue. He had no escapability, none. And, I just think he would have been benefited with a more developed passing game. And I think what happened was, so Mets' first season in 2012, we tend to forget that was also the Jeremy Hill resurgence. And it's kind of funny because Jeremy Hill shared this on 104.5. I caught this this week with Mario, who's so talented. I'm happy for Mario. And KLSU kid. Unbelievable. Freaking love it. I love seeing KLSU. John Frisha, thrive. But Jeremy shared this with Mario that Jeremy Hill was moved to slot receiver. I did not know this. They were trying to groom Jeremy Hill into, can you imagine that? Les Miles just had these horrible position switches, right? That Jeremy Hill was going to be a slot receiver. But he said it was because there was a lack of depth. So they were trying to get him to be a receiver or whatever. And Jeremy Hill was actually the 5th string wide receiver. Kane, are you still trolling Kane? Kane, did you see Rory and Mal? Their new life without Joe Budden? I've never listened to any Joe Budden podcast. I just found that drama to be so insane. But it is wild. It really is. Yeah, Jeremy Hill was amazing. He was amazing. And he was a 5th string running back in 2012. It's Maul. Rory and Maul. I just found that so interesting, Kane. Rory and Maul. probably the best thing that ever happened to him. Well, all right, guys, we're 3.5 hours into it. Gary James. Yeah, I want to start a Gary James chat. I don't know a whole lot about Gary James. Let's see here. Johnny says his running back of all time is LeBrandon Toefield. Love it. You know what's funny, Johnny? I knew Shep pretty well in college. We lived in the same apartment. He really was a good dude. I'm being serious. He really was. And he's so fascinating. He was so... The very interesting thing about Shep was I would have liked to have seen him play quarterback. I would like to at least seen it. But the one thing Shep was really good at is Shep really understands usefulness. And it's interesting that he made part of the position switch for Russell Shepard was he wanted to play receiver because he understood at the NFL level that was the position he was going to play. And then when he got to the NFL, he lasted way longer in the NFL than anyone expected him to. And I'm talking immediately when he gets out of the NFL, he starts a very successful waste management business. And it's so interesting that Russell Shepard always, that lets you know how smart this guy is. He always understood the power of usefulness. Okay. Because so many, and I understand that a lot of former athletes, they don't think about that. Like whenever you're done playing, and he invested into something that is so recession proof, which is this utility, a waste management business. And I'm sure he's making straight bank, especially now that the country's opening back up. And, the one thing that we're always going to need in a society is porta potties. I know that sounds wild. And I know not many of you want to get into the porta potty business, but, that's what he did. That's what he's doing now. And obviously, he does more than just that. But that is just so smart. I never would have thought to invest the millions of dollars I had into a business that legit has that has a high floor. It's so impressive. I mean, to continue to work, like DRC said, how hard that guy worked to even stay in the NFL. It's unbelievable. Ali Broussard, Alley Cat. Yeah, Shep would have been a good fit in the 2019 offense. Jesse, I shouted you out earlier. We were having some deep Fournette discussion. Like Jesse's like the biggest Leonard Fournette fan on this channel by a wide margin. Alley Cat was good, man. He could rap too. Well, all right, guys. We're about to wrap this thing on up. Unless you get another super chat, well, I don't mind hanging out for a little bit longer. The LSU baseball lost. What time do they play tomorrow? Who's fighting tonight in the UFC? Hey, Diaz is fighting tonight? Who? I gave a super chat and oh, good weather, fella. Is this your first chat? Who? Why wouldn't y'all tell me Nate Diaz was fighting tonight? Who? Oh, Adesanya? Is that how you say his last name? You gave a super chat in spirit. Good weather, fella. Tell me more about yourself, man. Is this your first time on a live stream? Thanks for telling me you love the channel. Appreciate you. I'm looking at this photo of Nate Diaz. What the heck? His face is ripped apart. Oh my God. I'm looking at this photo of Nate Diaz. Oh my God. His face is ripped apart. Oh. This photo. NRMN, what's good from Canada? You know what? NRMN, Rai wasn't in here tonight. Oh, anytime for you, Kenneth. You're my guy. Emory Jones balled out, man. I wish he commits. I'm still looking at this photo of Nate Diaz. How is his face ripped off like that? Oh my God. That's so wild. What's up, Britt? Yeah, NRM, he's wild. Which clip are you talking about? His anchor foot switched. They're all mixed up. I'm 3.5 hours into this. Marcus, are you a big UFC guy? What about you, good weather fella? I'm still looking at this photo of Nate Diaz. Hasn't this guy made $1 million, and he's still fighting 5-round fights? Five-round fights. Nate Diaz is out of this world. Oh. I'm still trying to see what happened to his cut. This cut in his face. Ah. This, whatever. One of y'all just sent me a few messages. Y'all are sending me I guess a lot of you are watching UFC. I guess a lot of y'all are watching UFC in the background. I just got a bunch of messages showing me Nate Diaz's face. Oh my God. Y'all let me know if he won or not. He's tough to put down, and those guys are lighter, so not as much weight tonight. Yeah. Well, all right, guys. We're going to go ahead and sign off. So you will hear from me on Monday, 5:30. We'll have a new video up. I'm just going to let you guys know I'm kind of sort of getting burnt out with recruiting, so I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to talk about on Monday. I think, we're going to do some film study. So, yeah, be on the lookout for all that. It should be fun. We got to figure out what we're going to do for the Central Michigan game. I think that would be a fun game to go to. I don't think I could. I don't know. I just get too intense for like SEC games. I think Central Michigan will be a little bit more laid back. So yeah, we'll do a Central Michigan meetup. I'd like to do that if we could work it all out. Who won, Kyle? Let me know. I know a lot of you are watching in the background. I don't know a whole lot about UFC. How old is Nate? I'm still shocked that he's still fighting. Isn't he like 40 something? Okay, 36. He's lost a lot of fights too. Who did he fight? I don't know the other guy's name. I'm cheering for Adesanya though. I don't know how to say his last name. Because I watched Adesanya's last fight. Leon Edwards. Well, all right. Well, guys, we'll see you on Monday. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Hold on. Let me see. Hey, Bub. Yeah. I just want to see if they're going to say goodnight. If you want to see him, you could see him earlier in the stream. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. We'll see you Monday, 5:30. Let's go.